Hey, Marin. Hello, everybody. Guess what we're going to be talking about today? Take a guess. All these fucking trolls on TikTok. Medic. Hey, man. These trolls are ruthless today. AMC, you got it. Hey, AMC, yes. What a day, right? Holy moly. Alpha Deo, Josh, what's up, man? I'm going live. I'm going live with Sierra in like a few minutes, but I'm just jumping on ahead of time. Otherwise, Josh or Medic, I'd say you come join. Yeah, OCGN I'm not familiar with. I can do a video on it. I think I had it on my list, actually. Actually, you know what? I think someone asked me to talk about OCGN last week, and I said I would, and then I didn't. I don't know if that was you. When did you send the report on AMC? Because I didn't see it, Medic. Did you just DM it to me, or did you email me? Because if you emailed me on my business account that's in my bio, I don't check it all the time, but I will when I'm off this live. I have no idea what AMC could go to. Everyone in the world has their own target price, and they're really just guessing. They're really just guessing at this point. It was you, Invisible Magic? Okay. It's in my Invisible_Magic. I've got like a note thing full of notes. I'm gonna run out of space. Invisible_Magic. When I put the video up, I will tag you in it. Medic, it's in my messages. I'll check it out. You don't have to explain it all here. Yeah, look, the thing about AMC is nobody knows where this thing could go, right? This isn't like using technical analysis on a stock. Hey, geographic spot. It could be $1 billion by tomorrow. Yes. No. Hey, Kai. Miller time. So far down, I'm really getting familiar with the term averaging down. Yeah, the problem with averaging down is obviously it depends on the company and what it is, if it's a long-term investment or some risky trade. The problem with averaging down too much is you average down too quickly. Like you're throwing good money after bad over and over and over. And then it really bottoms out at the time when it would be most ideal to really truly average down, and you're maybe out of money. Hello from Switzerland. What's up? It's late over there. Yeah, some are saying 100,000, not to be a pessimist. I don't think you're being a pessimist. I think you're, Alibaba. Alibaba. I think I did a video on Alibaba. I think I did a technical analysis. Maybe you asked me to. Someone asked me to do a technical analysis video on Alibaba, and I did it. I posted it. It is on my page. If you just want to scroll down, I post a lot of videos, especially lately. Thoughts on GameStop? I have no thoughts. I thought an ETF for meme stocks. You can make your own ETF for meme stocks. Just, not that you should, but you could. You sent it to me on March 12th? Jeez. I have not seen that. Should you rebuy AMC? Look, here's the thing. Some people thought it could get to this price. I'll just give you an example with GameStop. When you had GameStop at $20, and then it hit 70, and then it hit 90, and then it hit 100. At that point, you're looking at the stock going, it's up several hundred percentage points at this point, or whatever the math is. How much higher could it go? My thought would have been, no way. You don't want to chase the stock that's already gone from 20 to 90. What a humongous run. And then, of course, look what ends up happening. On the flip side, just because it happened with GameStop doesn't mean the exact thing will happen with AMC. It could. It probably won't, but it might. Yes, I think they're probably trying to get AMC over 100. I don't know if it'll happen. I mean, it's 65 now after hours. It hit 71. If you want to chase AMC, you have to understand that you're chasing. Only put in what you're willing to lose at this point. Because eventually, right? I mean, Josh said earlier, I don't know if he's still in here. If you watch Alpha Day Trading's live from earlier today, what goes up must come down. Eventually it will, right? And everyone who said, well, GameStop will never go down, even that went down. Hi, April. A lot of nail biting and FOMOing going on. Yeah, see, that's the thing is it's a lot of FOMO. You're chasing something. You don't know where it's going to top off, right? You don't know where it's going to stop and then reverse course. I personally thought vodka. Thank you. I personally thought with GameStop from 20 to 90, what more could it do? Probably not going to do anything. And then, of course, I'm wrong, and it goes up to 400 and something, you know. But every day you're watching it going, oh, now it's 100, now it's 200, now it's 300. Should I get in? You start to feel like that FOMO. You start sitting there going, oh my God, I got to chase. I got to get in. I got to get in. And then, you know, what ends up happening is you get in usually at the worst possible time. You know, there's someone out there who bought GameStop. There's someone out there who bought GameStop at $470 a share. And look where it is now. It's $250. Now, it might get back up there at some point, but it might not. Eric, Film Punk. I don't know about BlackBerry. I don't know what their vodka. I don't know what their short interest is. And by the way, just because something is short, there's some schmutz on my screen. Sorry. Just because it's short doesn't mean that there's going to be a short squeeze. It could, but it's not a guarantee. You don't look at it and go, wow, it's short 30 or 40%. It's going to squeeze. That's not really how this works. No, I don't think AMC is done, but I think, hey, here. Hello.
Hi.
There's a lot of people in here, and they're asking about, guess what?
AMC.
AMC. Let me turn up my volume a little bit for you. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Good, but I'm drowning in these trolls, man. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my videos today, but it's unbelievable out there with
And how people don't take responsibility for their own portfolios.
Yes, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's almost 80 people on my side of this live. I don't know how many of you have followed me in the past, but I am like Bernie Sanders level consistent with my message. My message has not changed. You know, like if you go back and you watch Bernie Sanders's videos from like the 80s and the 70s, he's talking about the same, like literally the same thing. My message is that level of consistent. I never tell anyone what to do. I never tell anyone to buy or to sell. And I got so many comments today from people going like, I listened to you and I didn't buy AMC and it's your fault. And it's like, you might be talking about the wrong guy because it's not me. You're not talking about me.
Yeah, no one told you to do any. It's the same thing that I do and stuff with mine. I mean, obviously, I feel like everyone on Stock Talk and anybody in the financial space says like, hey, I'm not a financial advisor.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I even consistently say like, you're responsible for your own portfolio. You're in charge of all the trades that you do or do not make. And the same good thing goes with your profit. Give yourself the credit for if you do something correct, but don't blame others if you do something and it backfires on you.
Right.
One, that's part of trading, and two, that was your own fault for possibly, you know, taking somebody's advice without doing your own due diligence to make it your own idea. Because you could take somebody's advice and then it could be very similar to a certain way that you trade or something that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And if you can't make it your own idea and you're just looking to blame somebody afterwards, then it's just, you know what I mean? Then it was your fault to begin with.
Right. Yeah. Hi, Crystal. Yeah, there's so much, there's also so much misinformation out there. It's like, it reminds me a little bit of like a telephone, like that game, like the telephone, you know, you remember Telephone? Where like people are just parroting what they've heard other people say and taking it as, well, I read it, so it's true. Some guy said it, I'm listening, and that's the fact. And there's so much of that misinformation. People don't, and a lot of people are new to trading, which is fine, right? Everyone's new at some point. A lot of people don't understand what they're saying, and they're just mimicking what someone else has said.
Oh yeah, what else they've heard somewhere else. And I mean, as much as, you know, there are great people on TikTok, you know, yeah. I give the information that I have to be fact. There's, you know, Connor over at Options Trading Daily and even Ashton really agree with a lot of the things that they say. But should not be the place that you go for like your information.
Right.
This is a secondhand source where there are no financial advisors on this app, or at least none that, you know, market themselves that way.
Right.
And it's like, oh my gosh, AMC is buzzing. Like, I should go to TikTok to find out what to do.
Yeah.
False. Like,
yeah.
you should be doing
You
your own research.
Yeah.
Like, you should be doing your own research before you do anything with AMC, like, moving forward at all. And what we're getting ready to do now is, I mean, I'm not telling people that like Robinhood is a bad like source, but I mean, I wouldn't be overly surprised if all of a sudden trading halts within the next couple of days because it had another giant jump.
Yeah.
And then whose fault is it at that point? Like, are you going to blame us that like Robinhood?
Right.
Like, I never endorsed Robinhood. I'm not a fan. I don't like what they did during the last two short squeezes and gamma squeezes, and
Right.
even with the Dogecoin buzz when it jumped, like, I was not a fan of how that was handled. So whenever anyone asks me, I don't bash them, but they're definitely not one that I ever recommend to anyone. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see something soon that trading is halted on AMC and any of the ones that seem to follow. You know, there were a couple others that had a really big pump over the last couple of days for no reason.
Right.
And a lot of people are tying them into AMC, which is exactly what happened the first time, because we had like Bed Bath & Beyond and Nokia and all of those other ones jumped up with AMC with GameStop, honestly.
Right. So. Yeah. And the people who have been around since the first GameStop thing, they had it in their mind, GameStop is going to 1,000. And instead of like learning and figuring out what happened and all the things that like were involved, like Robinhood halting stuff, and this whole notion, by the way, that like it's retail versus hedge funds isn't exactly true, right? There is an element of that, but they also aren't factoring in that hedge funds are also there are hundreds of hedge funds, maybe even thousands. And so this whole notion that it's retail versus hedge funds, what it really more likely is retail and hedge funds versus other hedge funds. Because, yeah, there's a lot of hedge funds who are shorting, but there's also a lot of hedge funds who are buying. And they're the ones who have the unbelievable capital to move these stocks. And we saw it with GameStop, where it's flying and people are going, that's us. And it is to an extent. It's the retail traders to an extent. But, AMC had 763 million shares traded today. That's not us. It is to an extent, like maybe a couple million shares, maybe 50 million or 100, but 700 million of them were exchanged today. Shares were traded today.
Yeah.
That's hedge funds and extremely wealthy investors. It's not us. We're not doing we're not doing as much as we're giving ourselves credit for on an app like TikTok, where everyone's going, it's us, we're fighting, we're going to show them. My friend Crystal said, I don't know if she's still in here, but she said the crypto bros are spreading misinformation faster than COVID, which I thought was funny.
I mean, it's definitely true. Gosh, I see so many. Every day there's like somebody new. And the craziest thing is I thought we had a pretty close-knit community on Stock Talk, where like I genuinely thought that I've seen everyone. I thought that I've seen at least everyone who's kind of big in this space. Like at some point in time, I had seen everyone.
Right.
And then there's some people that like popped out of nowhere. Some people like wanted a partnership with me and wanted like me to help them with their Discord. And I went to their page and they had a huge following. I'm like, how have I never seen you before with the following this large? I'm not going to give any names because they ended up ghosting me about, I don't know what was like. This was back when the whole everyone versus women of Stock Talk thing was going on. So maybe that could have been a reason. I'm not going to jump to that type of speculation, but they ended up stopping talking to me. So overall, it's like, I thought that I knew everyone. I know that in crypto, there's new people popping up all the time with all of the answers.
Right.
But I really do. I thought I knew so many people, but even I am still seeing like people pop up out of nowhere that are like, have the answers and are pushing all of these these like crap coins.
Sure. Yeah.
And coins you've never heard of. So it's like, why is this being, talked about? Why is this even being advertised? Who's reaching out to you? Who's offering you money to talk about this? Yeah. And that's what's happening.
And nobody's even doing their own due diligence on the side of like the companies hiring these people. They're not fact checking like, who are these guys? Are they legit? Like if I was running a company and I was going to hire a content creator, I wouldn't just be going to everyone. I would at the very least, I would scroll through their videos and watch some so I can get like an idea. Hey, thank you for the glasses. I've seen Pablo do that. When people send Pablo the sunglasses, he does this. So I'm going to do that now every time.
That was cool. I've never gotten sunglasses.
Someone
before.
give her sunglasses. I'm seeing. Oh man, there's so many comments in here. Oh hey, John is in here. Stank Presidente. I don't know if he's still in here though. Robinhood. So people are saying Robinhood halted AMC shares. It's not Robinhood that's halting it. It's like the SEC. It's circuit breakers. It's for everybody. It's not just being halted on Robinhood. So when you're on Robinhood and your shares are halted, it's not Robinhood. You know, and I think that's another thing about this misinformation where people go, it's halted on my end. It must only be for me. Robinhood. These halts are on every brokerage. When the New York Stock Exchange halts a stock, it's halted for everybody. Just so people know, and it's not the hedge funds punishing. You know, I think there are so many narratives being created right now about like storylines, right? It's us versus them. It's the media versus us. It's the rich versus us. The hedge funds are halting these stocks. The hedge funds aren't halting these stocks. It's not revenge, you know, but these narratives spread, and the misinformation spreads, like kind of what we've seen politically in the past, where political misinformation spreads, and it's like wildfire.
I just had somebody on my end say, it says, Goonie Guy Chunk said that I haven't seen either of you before, so it's funny that you are saying the same about others.
Yeah.
And I mean, that could be both ways. I don't know if you were trying to go about that maliciously because of what I had said about other creators that I have seen, but you're not going to find either of us pumping any nonsense coins for any reason, and you're never going to see us talking about something that we haven't done our own research on. So welcome to the good side of Stock Talk. Welcome. We have cookies.
Yeah, we do have cookies.
We do have cookies.
Someone, hey, there you go. You got it. Oh, that
was so cool. Thank you, whoever did that. That was so cool. Finance dog.
So someone in here, wait, I missed his comment. Oh, finance dog. Yeah, he commented just here. He said, we can't send you gifts. Yeah, if you want to send her sunglasses, you can go into hers. Wait, there was just a comment. Someone just left a comment in here saying they'd never heard of either one of us. Oh no, Finance Dog. He's saying he hasn't seen you before. Yeah, you know, it's interesting how TikTok works and how they handle their algorithm and stuff like that, and who you see and who you don't see. There's a lot of people who I follow on here. I never see their videos. I never see them, and then I go on their page, and there's dozens of videos. It's not like they've disappeared.
I think one of the biggest things that we forget, even just as creators and for other people, is that when you follow people, there's two sides of your homepage, and everyone always goes to the FYP. What TikTok is doing is they're moving around the algorithm ever since these promoted apps had been able, like these promotions for your videos had started. They did change the algorithm. So by like my biggest advice to people is if you're missing out on the people that you know that you're following, is switch over to the following side, and you'll see more of those people's videos. Because I know personally for myself, I've been having a lot of troubles with my lives lately. People, some of my full-time regulars, people I see week after week after week, are saying that they're not getting alerts when I'm on anymore. Like TikTok's not notifying them of any of my videos. They literally have to go and search my page to be able to find anything new. So it's just TikTok's algorithm. I think that it's working around those new promotions. And then I also know personally myself that I went into the Creators Fund right before the promotion thing started, and I recently got myself out because my views were even lower then, and then the promotion started and they got even lower. So I'm fighting my way back now a little bit, but it's very noticeable that the views are not, like, I'm not being pushed out to nearly as many people as I was, like, say a month and a half ago. So that could easily, we're going to start seeing that thing too, is like we are going to be really new to people because we're not getting pushed out to as many people as we used to be. Look at you.
Someone, I have to read this comment. Amy of the Valley says, I sold AMC. I sold at a 2,900 percent profit today. Congratulations.
That's fantastic. Good for you.
And you know, the other funny thing about this is like when I come out and I say like I've taken some profits in AMC along the way, they're so quick, at least these trolls, to like bash you for taking profits.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't know my financial situation. I don't know yours. And when someone comments, oh, I sold today for something. I had one comment today from some guy who said, anyone who sells at the $50 mark is a moron because they're going to be paying 50% in capital gains taxes. So I wrote back and I said, that's not, you know, the top capital gains tax is 37% for short term, and you have to make over 500,000 for that. And his response was to like go a different route and go, well, everyone knows it's going higher. But that wasn't your initial argument, right? Your initial argument was you're going to pay 50%. And when I gave you a fact, you pivoted somewhere else to still kind of shame these people for taking profits. Why would you take a profit at 50 when it's going to go here? You're an idiot. And at the end of the day, like what it comes down to is, you know, for some people, their profit on this is several $1,000s. And if that doesn't seem like a lot to you, you're not them. It might be a lot to somebody else. And that might be money. Like if they have medical bills or debts or student loans, or they've fallen behind on their mortgage, that $2,000 or $3,000 can be significant. So you shouldn't be making fun of someone for taking a profit. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't have to take a profit because you've got lots of money and you can just YOLO this, and who cares? If you lose it all, you lose it all. You don't care, but you're not them. So you don't know what someone else is going through. Also, I'm getting a lot of comments from people saying they want cookies.
I do bake. I bake a lot.
I do.
Or I used to bake like a lot, but right now I'm trying to do keto. It's been a struggle.
Oh, no.
So I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
On this side, I have a couple people that said that they like us nice. And stuff on here. I've got I believe in you, Sierra. That's the Wall Street Bets gang. Some people said hello, fellow investors. And then I did have one person, I'm not sure if they're still in here, but they asked about what we thought of Nokia, if we had any comments and stuff on that. And normally I don't go into individual stocks, except for when we're on here and stuff together. I just think that this one might be noteworthy just because it is caught up. It was originally tied into AMC. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the biggest things to point out on Nokia is the fact that it started increasing back in the beginning of May because it crushed earnings. It had like 965% surprise rate on its earnings. So it beat earnings with flying colors. So I don't think that people should necessarily tie this company's increase in share price with AMC because it started a few weeks ago. And I mean, and when I said that, let's see, their earnings was on, April 29th. And it's been increasing ever since. So if anybody is in Nokia, I think that it is, it's a fair moving stock right now. It broke out of the consolidation period that it's been chilling in. It's been hanging out above the 20-day SMA for the past 3 weeks. And I think that the company is going to start moving its share price, but based on its own fundamentals. I do not believe that this is moving because of AMC for any reason. There might be small pickups here and there, but I don't think there's any evidence to show that like this is going to go
right.
To
and that's kind of like an important thing what you said too about these stocks moving on their own fundamentals is people who are looking at like AMC and they're going, it's moving because of a short squeeze and only because of a short squeeze. Companies can go up substantially on their own merits. It doesn't have to be a short squeeze or meme stock where the what are people talking about on Reddit today? It can, and that can factor into it. But it's not necessarily the only reason. Like stocks can go up because they had good news. Like AMC is doing some, they have like an app now, I think, where you can rent movies. I think someone told me about that, but I haven't checked. They're giving away free popcorn. They're reopening theaters. Like they're doing things to get people to come back in. So that also plays a factor in this. It's not just a short squeeze. Stocks can go up on their own. Someone asks me here, and what's going on with AMC? It's a short squeeze. It's a lot of FOMO. There's also something called a gamma squeeze, for those who don't know. So there's a couple different short squeezes. One short squeeze is where, these hedge funds are shorting it. They're betting against it. And when people come in and buy, retail traders or other hedge funds, it moves the stock price higher. The people who are shorting it have to buy the stock back to cover their short, driving it up even higher. So that's one kind of short. The other one is a gamma squeeze, which is basically like a back and forth between all of the people who are buying call options, and then they see that the call volume has increased exponentially, so people are buying the stock. And then the people buying the options see that people are buying the stock, so they buy more options at a higher strike price, which causes more people to buy the stock, and it goes in a circle. But so this whole notion that it's only one thing that's happening today, or it's not a short squeeze today, it was a gamma squeeze, or it wasn't either of those, it was FOMO. It can be all of them. It can be all of them.
I know for me, at least on my side, let's see, I've been to our main theater that I love and that I go to. I've been to for literally I've been to the movies like 3 times in the last month. Like, I love movies, and our theaters are coming back. I did have one comment and stuff on this side. I will say hi, Delta. Miss you. Glad that you're here. But I did have, so Sean asked if B&B, which is BlackBerry, is moving because of AMC. And it says, am I understand? I think that was just a typo. I do think that it might be safe to say that this one had a little bit of movement because of AMC, because the only movement that it's had has been the last 4 days, and there was a huge influx in volume. And then if you check BlackBerry's news, there has not been anything else substantial coming out about it. So there is a good chance that this was moving because of the AMC, because of its original partnership back when the GameStop stuff was going on. But with that said, please be wary that does not mean that it is going to do what AMC is doing right now. It's the same thing with GameStop all over again. Everyone thought that AMC was going to do what GameStop did, and it didn't. So just because this one is moving a little bit now because they're kind of commingled does not mean that this BlackBerry is going to go ahead and jump. Buying in right now at $15.78 when it had been originally trading down at the $8 mark does not necessarily mean that this is a good opportunity to get in, because we don't know fully if this would even do the others. It's not moving based off of the company's fundamentals right now. It's not worth $15 right now. If you were to look into any type of analyst, like, the BlackBerry stock is not worth $15 right now, which means that there's a good chance that if it does move any further, it could be because of the AMC. It's likely because of AMC, but I don't think that it will do what AMC stock is doing right now.
Yeah, and what you said about GameStop is so important for the new traders also, who are looking at a stock like, and it doesn't have to just be stock. It can be cryptocurrency or anything. They find one that went absolutely nuts, like Bitcoin, and then they look to something and they missed out on it, right? They missed, it was $1 and now it's 60,000. Oh, I can't believe I didn't buy it. So what they all funnel into something else, like say a Dogecoin, and they go, okay, well, we missed Bitcoin, so now Dogecoin. We're going to hold Dogecoin to some unrealistic number because I want to make up what I lost by missing out on Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin went from a penny to 60,000, Dogecoin will. And we're seeing the same thing with GameStop. People are going, well, GameStop was 20 and then it went to 470. So AMC is going to do the exact same thing, and they're all going to do the exact same thing. And that's not how this works. And if you understood, especially if you're new, you have to understand that these companies have a lot of different things going on, right? So GameStop had 70 million shares and they were short 140%. Which explains why it had such a humongous squeeze. AMC at the time had 390 million shares, and they were short like 40%. So, if there is a short squeeze, it's not going to push the stock up to 400, and it didn't. And now AMC has been issuing more shares over and over, right? So they are at like 400 and something million, and now they're going to be 500 million because they've just issued more shares. So it's going to make it even harder to move. And I got a comment here. What percentage do you pay when taking profits, short and long term? The short term, so for people who don't know, short-term capital gains are taxed at a higher rate. This is not a reason, by the way, to not take profits, especially on these very risky trades. I'm not talking AMC specifically, but people who go, well, I don't want to pay taxes on my pump and dump stock, so I'm going to hold for a year. But the whole point of some of these volatile stocks is you get in and you get out and you take your profits. If you hold for a year, you're going to be sitting on huge losses. The short-term capital gains rates are 10%, 12%, 20%. There's other numbers that I'm leaving out because I'm not on my computer, so I can't see. And the top is 37%, and you have to make $500,000 to be taxed at that 37% level. And it's only anything over 500,000. So it's not 37% on the totality of your money. It's 37% on anything over $500,000. So you're paying like on a ladder for those who are curious about taxes. Hey, hi, how are you? You're in here. One of my oldest followers just joined.
Oh, that's
Hey,
nice. I've actually got a pretty decent amount of people on this side. TikTok must not be shutting me out tonight, so that's pretty awesome.
Yay.
I did have a question. Somebody had asked about our opinion on Neo. Do you follow Neo at all? That you would have an opinion on this stock?
Not. I don't follow Neo, like religiously. And I don't know what the chart looks like. I don't even know what the stock price is at the moment. Do you know? Are you at your screen?
Yeah, it is at 40. Let's see. It is currently sitting at, I've got $50. Oh, $40.50. Well, post hours is 41.18.
Okay.
So I've got that right now.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan Judas. And also some people have shared this, so thank you for sharing.
Awesome.
So the thing about Neo is with anything. So like they're in the electric vehicle, field category. There's a lot of companies in that field or category right now, and I don't want to say that it's like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a bubble. You remember like when all these SPACs were happening and there was a new SPAC every week, and what company is it going to be? What company is it going to be? And it always ended up being, hey, LGNYC. It always ended up being an electric vehicle, another electric vehicle, another electric vehicle. Some of these electric vehicle companies will be around 10 years from now, right? Tesla, I think everyone is safe to assume Tesla will be around. Some of these other ones that are less well known might not, and they might go bankrupt. They might fold. They might be bought out from a competitor. They might merge. So it's hard to say which one is going to be the main event, which one's going to be the big leader. Yeah, Nikola too. It's hard to say which one's going to pave the way. Also, you have to factor in that companies like Ford are now really stepping up their electric vehicle game. And companies like Ford will crush some of these smaller startup companies, or they'll just buy them and take them in under their brand.
They have an electric EV Ford F-150 that's supposed to be released by the end of this year. I don't know if that'll happen. Somebody had asked Delta, they had asked about the tax thing that we just talked about. Delta, yes, I have a video. I did it like 3 days ago that has the breakdown for taxes, because I did reference it for AMC. So you can look at that. And then I know Ken has a few. So feel free to look at either of our channels. There is information on there. Ford F-150 and Mustang. And then somebody had commented, I still don't get why you're buying Nissan. That was a joke for the video. Like, I just did one of those trend videos and I really wanted to do it. And Nissan was supposed to be quirky and funny because that's what Paul Walker's character always drove in the Fast and the Furious. So that's why I chose Nissan for that.
So hold on, I got a comment and I lost it. Oh yeah. So still on this is Rattan. Is the capital gains taxed when you withdraw from a trading account or when you sell? You pay taxes at the end of the year. You're only taxed on the stocks that you sell for a profit. You're not taxed on your losses. I think someone asked me that a while ago, if they're taxed on their losses as well. No, you're only taxed on your gains, and you're taxed short-term capital gains, anything under a year. If you hold it for more than a year, so really a long-term investment, say like Apple or something, then you're taxed at a lower tax rate, still long-term capital gains, so you're still taxed just at a smaller rate, and you'll get something called a 10, is it called 10? It's a 1099, is that the one for taxes?
1099.
You'll get a 1099 in the mail at the beginning of the new year. So for 2022, your broker will send you a 1099 form If you use something like TurboTax, there's also free file from the IRS. If you make under 75,000, you can use the free file, and you just log in through your brokerage on the app, transfer your 1099, and it calculates out for you. I'm also seeing a thing saying I have an unstable connection, so if I'm going in and out, you know why.
No, I think that you're okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I had that message before too.
Okay.
It might be useful also. Don't forget, people, and write a note and keep notes and stuff on there that nobody's perfect. And you can also claim up to $3,000, or at least, I mean, if for certain tax brackets, it's like $3,000, I think, to $10,000 that you can claim in losses every year. It depends on your that depends on your tax bracket as well, right? As to how much you can claim in losses.
I think so, but I'm not an accountant. I don't really know much about
I just
taxes.
know specifically for me because I use TurboTax. Somebody here also wrote, somebody's commenting on my side. They said basically claim losses up to 10K a year. My personal tax
I think it's
person on
3,000.
TurboTax is what I heard is 3,000. It's up to $3,000 you can claim in losses every year. I'm also getting the unstable connection thing right now, so maybe it's contagious.
Maybe.
I don't know, but yeah, so that's something that I would, just like you said, I would check in with your tax professional or just look up to it, but just don't forget that because it could offset some of those capital gains that you have.
Right. And someone's asked me, since we're talking about taxes, and I don't know much about this, except this is for Just a Noob Trader. Can you discuss the trader tax status? My understanding with the trader tax status is it is extremely difficult to get that status as an actual stock trader, that even like established professional like broker traders, financial advisors have a hard time qualifying for the trader tax status. Yeah, and they make you, like, you have to make an unbelievable amount of trades. So just because you make an occasional day trade doesn't mean you qualify as a trader. They really make you prove that you are a high volume trader. Anything more than that, though, I don't know. But I have gotten comments.
No, I have no information on it.
If you do, so he's saying he makes about 5,000 to 10,000 trades per year, then I would look into it. I don't make that many trades. That's a lot of trades. So I would
and just like I know a lot of people like you trade for your full-time profession. I trade in like a part-time capacity, so I would never be able to trade that much. I don't have that much capacity.
Do you know about Sundial, SNDL? Because I'm getting a couple questions about that. Then speak to it. Go ahead. No, they're just asking what I think about it.
So overall, Sundial's been pretty stale and a little stagnant, but then about 3 days ago, we saw a lot of influx in a lot of marijuana stocks, and Sundial is a grower from Canada. Mm-hmm. So things have been increasing. I'm looking at the chart here. We finally got over that 20-day SMA about 4 days ago, which is awesome. It did switch. It triggered a buy signal through my MACD and my super trend. So those are just two of the indicators that I like. Plus, I do like the fact that it is over the 20-day SMA. There was no new news that came out about it. There was just a big influx in the increase of share price on marijuana stocks. It kind of was like an overall like sector increase in share price. Another one that I was looking at was Aurora and Kronos, however you say that. They're both in my portfolio, but they also increased. So right now, we're seeing that you have the confirmation that an uptrend could be starting after it's been pretty much consolidating for a while. If you do your due diligence and these are types of stocks that you want in your portfolio, it might be time to start looking into marijuana stocks again.
Yeah, Tilray also, my friend April is in here. She says Tilray is finally over 20.
And Tilray did the deal with Alfria finally went through in the beginning of last month. So like that happens. And I believe that they're merged.
Yeah. So the Carolina kid is asking, how do you? Hello.
You can say hi and then you have to go. Okay. Say hi to everyone. We're talking about weed. You have to go now. Love you.
What about the pattern day trading regulations with a cash account? How do you get around it? With a cash account, the pattern day trading rule does not apply to you. It's only on a margin account. So you're good.
I don't know anything about that. Talk to Ken. I don't have answers on that.
Someone's laughing, but I don't know why. Sundial's being shorted, somebody says. It might be, I don't know. Is Nokia going to squeeze? I don't know, because I don't know what their short interest is. And just because I said this earlier, but just because a stock is heavily shorted doesn't mean it's going to squeeze. The reason that companies or hedge funds short a stock is because they don't believe fundamentally that the company is good. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you think it's fair or not, or nice or not, hedge funds do their homework. They look at a stock and they go, this thing is way overvalued. And then they short it and they say, this is a stock that's maybe $20 and it should be $5. And the retail traders don't like that. They think it's, why are you killing these good companies? You're driving these good companies down. It's just what they do. Like, whether you like it or not. Like, if you ever watched the Wall Street, Sierra, have you ever seen Wall Street, the movie with Michael Douglas, where he plays Gordon Gekko? At one point,
I've seen. Yes.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen goes to him and says, "Why are you wrecking this company?" And Gordon Gekko goes, "Because it's wreckable." Like, that's how these hedge funds are. They're not like morally upstanding. They look for opportunities to push a stock down. And by the way, what happens when they push a stock down and it gets crushed? Then they come out and they go, "We love this company now. Now we're buying it because it's fairly valued." And then they drive it back up. So they're manipulating on all ends.
And that happens. With Nokia, though, we did touch on that one already. It's been moving for the last couple of weeks. It had its earnings come out on the 29th of April. This is the one that was up. It was a 965% surprise on its earnings, which is surprise in the correct direction. So it exceeded earnings. So this has been going up for the last couple of weeks. So I personally don't think that it's overly assimilated with the AMC short squeeze that's going on right now. Is that to say that it won't just jump out of nowhere? Absolutely not. I can't make that determination. You never know what's going to be manipulated next by Wall Street or Wall Street Bets or any of the Reddit people. But overall, the increase that this stock has had, all evidence shows that it's due to the fundamentals of the company. So that's basically where I stand on Nokia right now.
Yeah. Do you know about Open Door Technologies? Because I am being asked about it, and I don't.
I do. I have Open. So,
okay.
Yeah, Open it's been slowly increasing over the last 2 weeks, but it's almost like a very slight increased consolidation on my part. It's been nothing but dropping since the middle of February, which stunk, but I'm a long-term trader, so I just let it sit there and it'll fix itself eventually.
Yeah.
So overall, they didn't have the best earnings. They had a small 0.77% surprise. They did exceed earnings. But overall, it's still pretty stale right now. It's not necessarily continuing to decrease at the moment in time, but it's got a small increase consolidating up into a slight uptrend. It did touch the 20-day SMA for the first time today, so we might be able to see a true reversal, but I wouldn't
What's
hold
the
my
stock price
yet.
What's the price?
Right now we're looking at $15.80 after hours.
Okay, so the Carolina kid is saying that he's having some problems because he is in a cash account, and he's saying that he's been flagged. So I don't know who your brokerage is, but I would call them and I would ask them to explain what's going on. If you have TD Ameritrade or Fidelity or one of those other ones, they will answer the phone right away. It could also mean because the cash. Oh yeah. So just a noob trader is saying the cash account doesn't mean all the cash is in your account. So with a cash account, you have to wait for a settlement period, which can be I believe 3. Yeah, he's trading with unsettled funds. That's probably what your alert was. You're trading with unsettled funds. Settlement is 3 days, I believe, in a cash account. So if you have, say you have a cash account with $1,000 and you are trading that $1,000 every single time, when you buy on Monday and you sell on Tuesday, you have to wait 3 days for that settlement to come through. So you don't have that 1,000 in your account. You have to wait for the settlement to come through. When you have a margin account and you sell your position, that 1,000 comes back right away into your account. 2 days for settlement. Okay, so not 3, 2. Super White Satan, hello, is saying you get free popcorn. Is he in yours too?
No, he's been over here before, and I just recognize the name.
Yeah. He's saying you get free popcorn if you own stock in AMC. So how does that work? So do I just go to the theater and show them my phone and
Here's
say,
my brokerage account.
yeah, look how many shares I got. Give me the popcorn. And can I get something other than popcorn? Like, could I get Skittles? Because I don't, I'll eat popcorn.
Or a slushie.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those ices. Yeah, for sure. I'm a Stubbs member, so I already get free popcorn.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else they could give me.
I saw a video today where the guy walks into an AMC and he's like, basically saying that he's like an owner of the company now. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. It was really funny.
It's funny because I'm blanking on her name, which is bothersome to me, but it is something resembling. She's in the Stock Talk community. She's pretty long blonde hair, and her name is something to do with Robin Hood, like Robin Hood Gal or something like that. It's like it's not coming to me.
Oh, is it?
But she went to Starbucks and did something similar. She's like, I'm an owner. What can I get here?
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, one of the best videos I've ever seen. It was very, very clever. I don't have as many stocks in companies that I use on a regular basis. I don't have that many shares. So I would have to see how that would work for me. Royal Caribbean, I could do that the next time that I hit up a cruise.
Yeah.
But I don't have too many that I use in my regular, like, ordinary day life that I would be able to do that for.
Yeah. Somebody says you have to sign up for AMC. You have to sign up on something called Investor Connect. And then you get free popcorn, which I love. I think more companies should do that. I really wish more companies would say, if you're a shareholder, you get like some sort of extra perk or benefit or something. Would encourage, I think, more people to invest. And it wouldn't be, like McDonald's could just do like free fries, or Starbucks could go like every 10th latte is free or something. Like, they don't have to. These companies are making so much.
Free cake pop, like
free cake pop, something
little,
like some little incentive.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, JoJo is in here. She says thoughts on Ford stock. I have had Ford stock forever. I continue to hold it. I like it. Yeah, I like Ford. I think they had a rough, they had a rough patch. They cut their dividend. They had way too many cars. They downsized on their cars, like on their lineup of what they have. Ford's coming back. Sierra said it. They have the Lightning F-150, which sounds really cool. First of all, the Lightning F-150 can power your house for 3 days if there's a power outage, which is incredible.
That's crazy. I'm so excited about that.
And what I like about these companies, like, anyone, I'm going to say anyone can make an electric vehicle now, but so many companies are like, yeah, we're doing electric vehicles. But Ford is looking at it going like, all right, EV, what can we do to change it a little bit? And saying you can power your house with our car if there's an outage is such a Ford thing to do, right? Like, Ford is like the built Ford tough. We're there. We can do the heavy lifting. We're the reliable car or truck. And now they're going to power your house if there's an outage.
And now they're going to do it all.
Yeah.
I just did a video, not Ford, but I just did a video right before I came on. And I had found... Insider Market emailed it to me this morning. There is a Canadian company that is called Daymac. I think it's Daymac is the name of the company. It's not publicly traded yet, but I have a feeling that if a couple SPAC companies get a whiff of what they're trying to do, they're going to want to take it to an IPO. But they're making a car that is called the Spiritus. The Spiritus car. It's going to come out in 2023 that mines Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, or Cardano while it's charging. How?
That's really cool.
It's going to mine while it's charging. Like, that's insane. Just thinking what all these people are, but it reminds me of Ford, because it's like, okay, all these companies are doing EV, but what can I do to make my EV vehicle stand out?
Right.
Like, Tesla is EV luxury. You know what I mean? They've already kind of like niched that market. Like, that's what they're known for. I watched a video the other day where somebody, I guess Tesla also comes with this like in-car kit where like you get this like mattress, like if you put the back seats down, there's a mattress. It comes with all of the interior walls, and then the little tablet thing in the front it does TV, and it has its own Wi-Fi, so you can get Netflix, and like people could live in their Tesla. That sounds like the most like contradictory thing. Like, if you were homeless but you had a Tesla, you'd be okay.
Yeah,
like,
and who's going to take their Tesla camping either? Like, I mean, what's the point of the mattress in the Tesla? Like, if it was like a truck or something, it would make sense that you could go like, what do they call it when you go like overlanding in your truck and you have the tent on top and stuff? But like a Tesla, who's going to do that?
I'm like, are you stuck in a snowstorm? Like, is that maybe what's going on? Like,
Yeah, maybe.
be prepared though.
So someone in here, wait, where did he go? Callie Palm One is saying, I don't think you guys are answering questions. We are. We're just getting a lot of questions. So
We have so many questions. There is one on my side. I think that they left already, so I feel badly. I already kind of prefaced to my followers on my side that this, when Ken and I get together, we answer more broad stream questions, things that are a little bit more broad. We've done a lot more like singular, like on the dot questions already about individual stock companies. So I feel like we've been actually doing really well on that front. But I know that somebody had asked me specifically for Microvision. And as much as I would love to get into that one on here, I've never looked at the stock before, which means I would not be able to give you on the fly my 2 cents on that stock right now. So if I were to do something, maybe I could do a video and stuff for you guys later. When you bring up things that him or I have already kind of had an opinion on, it's a lot easier for us to not, to give you an answer without having to take maybe 20 minutes to dive into it. So we are doing our best, guys. I know I've had a couple people coming in and stuff on this side. I know that Ken has like probably 5 times the amount of people on mine because he got on first and he has a much bigger following than I do. We're doing our best, guys. I promise.
58 people in here right now, but it was 70. I don't know where they all went.
I mean, I had a kick up to 30 like just a few minutes ago, so maybe they went from one to the other and then they just left us because now I'm down to 12 on my side. When I normally have between 30 and like 45 on my single ones. Yeah. But like I said, TikTok hasn't been pushing me out lately.
I think we just have to talk about AMC because that's what the people want. But this guy was asking, what's the next best stock for a short squeeze? There's no way to know. You can look at a website called highshortinterest.com that will list like the top 10 most heavily shorted stocks. But what we said earlier was just because a stock is heavily shorted doesn't mean that it's going to squeeze and go up. I think a lot of people misunderstand that if there's a heavily shorted stock, it's going to squeeze and go higher. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes there's a reason that they're shorting a stock. They're driving it down because they think fundamentally it's weak. Other times, you see what happened with GameStop, where they short this company and the retail group from Reddit and wherever rally around. Oh, Callie Palm, you're missing it. I'm answering your question, and you just joined. I guess you left, but you came back. I just answered your whole question. It's hard to know what's going to be a short squeeze next. Highshortinterest.com is a great resource. You can go and look and see the stocks that are being heavily shorted, but there's no guarantee just because they're being heavily shorted that they will run. So if you missed it the first go around, I re-answered.
And there's also like when you guys use FinViz, I've done one of my formula videos it was probably like 2 months ago that I did the one that has unusual trade volume, but you can screen for that. And unfortunately that means that sometimes you're going to miss that initial jump. But if it is a short squeeze, a true short squeeze, like what's going on with AMC or what happened with GameStop in the past, even after that first jump, it could continue to go up again. And honestly, I don't like to use these types of words when it comes to trade, but that's a gamble you'd have to take. If you were willing to bet that this was going to be a short squeeze, you're hearing about it, then, maybe people do buy in after that first jump, but you're gambling at that point because we've seen just as many, as soon as it goes up, it comes back down again because the market's going to correct itself. Even with where GameStop is right now, it's not worth where it's at. It's been proven, it's been shown, even with GameStop, the company getting into NFT land, and getting into that, like how many of you actually go into a GameStop? How many of you guys have actually purchased something from a GameStop store? I can't say anything because that's where I get my Pokemon cards. So, I mean, I know where I'm going to a GameStop for. I get them for me. I get them for my nephew. Like, that's where I'm going. But how many of you can say that you've even seen one recently? It's not worth where it is, and it's known. So it's going to be in for its own sort of correction, probably going to take a couple of years to get back down to where it was. But anybody who's looked at the stock chart would see that it was $22 before all of this nonsense happened. It's completely over dramatized right now, and it's not worth what it's currently trading at. And when it had that first initial jump, it did keep going. but then it came back down, and you guys all saw it, and a lot of people lost a lot of money because they came in at the top. So you are gambling. But if you do look for stocks that have unusual trade volume, there is a good chance that you'll find some of these stocks either before they pop or during their pop. So there's always that option to trade and look for the unusual trade volume.
It kind of reminds me of like all these people who are looking for like the next hot stock or the next hot short. It just kind of reminds me of like, you know, when you like cut the head off of a chicken and it just runs around all hysterical. Like all these traders now are seeing like, you know, GameStop, AMC, Dogecoin, all these things and they're just pivoting from like one to the next one. What's the next one? What's the next one? And they're running all over the place like hysterical. And they're listening not to the people who that they like. They're listening to the people who are telling them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. And so you're seeing so many people on these websites talking like, what are the apes doing? And diamond hands and, you know, hodl or hodl and, you know, all these like terms. Like I've been getting so many comments. The new one that I've been getting is diamonds are forever and so is AMC. I've been getting like, it's like what we were talking about at the beginning, like, you know, they're just cutting and pasting what they've heard and it just kind of spreads. And it's like a cult almost, where people are just pivoting from like the hot stock to the hot stock to the hot stock, trying to get all this money. And most of these people are getting wrecked, and some of them are making money, and the ones who are making money are making the most noise about it. And Super White Satan is saying, I'm paper hands, so I've been told. Hey, Kalechi's in here. What's up? People are being shamed and for taking profits. And the thing is, you don't know where these stocks are going to go. You know, AMC could have topped out at 50. You know, it didn't, but it could have, and it could top off at 100 or could stop at 250. You don't know where it's going to go. So the thing here is, and I got so many comments earlier today from people saying like, oh, you always hate the meme stocks. I don't hate the meme stocks. I've traded them. And and someone else commented and said, how can he be saying that he's anti the meme stocks when he's investing in them and trading them? Like, I'm not against these meme stocks. I just think it's important at a certain point to consider taking some profits, and then you can YOLO the rest. That's what Super White Satan has done. He took some of his profits, enough that he's happy with it, and you can YOLO the rest. How would you feel like someone said, I don't care if it, if it goes to zero, I'm holding AMC until 500,000 or whatever, and then you're never going to make any money. And this whole notion that like that these stocks are helping us close the wealth gap is only true if you take profits. If you don't take profits, then you're not closing anything, and you're going to end up with a loss, and then you're going to end up bitter, and you're going to end up resentful, and you're going to say you hate the stock market, and it's Sierra's fault, or it's my fault, instead of your own, like what Sierra was saying earlier, taking accountability. When you don't sell, you're going to look for someone to blame because you don't want to take responsibility and go, oh, I should have sold, it's my fault.
It's really funny because ever since you've said like, oh, like let's talk about AMC and people will come back, my side has increased here. I have a couple people said, I liked Ken's TikTok that said take profit and FOMO on the rest of a short squeeze.
Yeah.
I had some people asking what the next AMC is going to be. Like, we're not going to tell you what the next AMC is going to be because we're not psychic, and because of the fact that it's so arbitrary. Like we had already said, short squeezes don't happen off of fundamentals of a company. It happens because people think that it's not worth what it's currently trading at. And people and hedge fund managers and high increased, trading individuals try to short the stock because they think it's going to go down. And then people step in and cause it to go the opposite way. That is what causes a short squeeze. Basically, having a shitty stock is what like causes the short squeeze. So that's where it starts. Is somebody comes along and thinks that this stock isn't worth what it's trading at, and they come in and they decide that they're going to short it. That's where all of this starts. So we can't tell you what the potential next short squeeze is going to be. Some people said, is it going to be BlackBerry? Is it Nokia? Is it going to be Naked? If you look at all of those stocks, BlackBerry did have a pop today, but all of those were tied into the original AMC GameStop era. So as much as some of those have been moving by themselves, we've already talked about Nokia. Take Nokia off that list. because Nokia has been moving on itself for weeks now. But BlackBerry did have a pop. Sundial's been moving for 2 weeks now because we had an increase in marijuana stock. So I do not think that that is going to be the next one. Naked is moving, but barely. It's barely over the 20-day SMA for the first time in like 3 months. So maybe that's your short squeeze right there, is the fact that it moved up to 80 cents at some point yesterday. Right. But these are things that like people need to remember, that you need to be able to do the research for yourself and stop looking for instant gratification on the trades that you make. Put in the work. Do the work to make your money in the stock market. Some people get lucky and some people get to get in on these trades beforehand and they make a good amount of money. And I'm happy for those people. I'm glad that you guys are taking profits. I'm glad that you're making life-changing money. But if you can't make decisions for yourself and do your own research, all of these short squeezes are going to dry up, and then you will not be able to trade in the stock market
and all
anymore.
This stuff that I was just talking about, like when you cut off a chicken's head and it runs all over the place, just like what you were saying. Is it Naked? Is it BlackBerry? Is it this? What you're going to see is you're going to see so many inexperienced new traders funneling all of their money into every single stock that they think is going to be the next GameStop or AMC or whatever. One of them might. Most of them probably won't, and they're going to get wrecked on those. And then what's going to happen to them? You know, they're just pivoting from the one to the other. And Super White Satan said, "I hope to make enough money from this, and be a smart enough investor by the time this is all over, that I know what to do with those profits." And that's so important. Is when you make, I mean, this is just dumb money, right? Like this is just luck. People who were in this thing a while ago, like me, it's just dumb luck. And when you make this humongous amount of money, people are going to be trying to double it or triple it. And I got to find the next one. I got to find the next one. The smartest thing you can do is take this bonus money and invest it and be smart with it. And then you can take a little bit of it and do something reckless and stupid. But you don't want to do the opposite, which is take the most of it and try to, 10x your money over and over and over. That's just how you end up losing everything. You take the majority of your money, 80%, and you put it in smart investments, and then you can go and be stupid with 20%. What we're seeing is people are taking 80% of their money and they're doing something stupid, and they're doing 20, and then when everything hits the fan, the shit hits the fan and everything drops, they go, I wish I had done it the other way. I wish I'd done it the other way.
And then you got FOMO, and you did FOMO with your own money.
Right.
I have a question over here that I might not be able to answer. You might not be able to either. I don't know.
Okay.
But somebody had asked, why has my covered call premium, why doesn't it show in my Robinhood monthly statement? Now, I don't use Robinhood, but I know personally for me, even on E-Trade, sometimes the premium for my covered calls don't show. Basically, when your covered call, the first thing that I would say is, one, just because you sell or attempt to sell and you put it in queue for a covered call to be for sale, if it's not executed, which means somebody doesn't buy your contract, you're not getting any money and your call is going to expire. So that's the first thing I would do, is just double check that your covered call was ever actually purchased, because without it being purchased, you wouldn't be owed a premium anyway. And at that point, it should just arrive in your balance. The second that it's purchased, it would go into your balance. So that's where I would check first. Because I know that I had problems with that when I first started trading covered calls, is I didn't know that I needed to wait for an execution. I just thought like, hey, I put my thing up for sale. Where's my money? Right. And you can't, you can sell a covered call all day, but if nobody is purchasing it, then where do you expect to get the money from? So that's just one thing, is I would check your balance first and make sure that your purchase was, or your sale was actually purchased by somebody. That would be my best bet for, I think that was Joe Mann. Joe Mann said that. So I hope that helps.
Super White Satan, again, with a really good question. Do charts mean anything during a squeeze? My first thought is going to be no. Just because there's so much volatility and FOMO and just unbelievable amounts of buying. Technical analysis doesn't mean shit when there's a short squeeze, or when there's any hype story, when there's some big breaking news and the stock rockets. The technical analysis doesn't mean as much, because there are outside factors now. There's so much FOMO and media attention. It's just driving all the way up. I mean, honestly, look, if you look at AMC's chart over the last 4 days, it has been overbought on the relative strength index all week. That's an indication, technical analysis wise, that it should be reversing, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It keeps going up. So when you're dealing with a short squeeze or any sort of huge volume, event, it matters less.
Yeah, she's being a bar.
Huh?
Sorry, my cat.
Oh.
My cat was being a nut. I've got a couple of diamond hands over here. So, yeah, they're just, it's not luck, it's diamond hands. Like, okay, that's great. And I'm glad that works for you. Absolutely. Do your thing. Everybody's in charge of their own destiny, and manifestation. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But that same person, Derek, did ask, does market cap matter? It does matter when you're doing a technical analysis on a stock, but that question was asked when we were talking about during a short squeeze, do charts and other fundamentals matter? Honestly, no, because basically short squeezes, when you're on the other end, it's just kind of like one giant YOLO. Like, you really don't know when it's going to stop, and you don't know when it's going to come down, and you're really just letting Jesus take the wheel. It's just like, honestly, that's the easiest way to say it. So unfortunately, at that point, I don't really think that market cap matters.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Nadeem. Forget the squeeze. Do you believe in technicals overall, or do they often fail? I use technical analysis all the time on my swing and day trades. People hate it. They like to say that it's tarot cards or astrology, or they say like it's astrology for men, which like I don't understand. Like, I don't get why it has to be for men. If you think it's astrology for anyone. Anyone, can look at that stuff. I do use technical analysis all the time. Someone asked very early on in this video, I never answered. Sorry. What my technical analysis favorites are. I use Bollinger Bands, regular just volume, relative strength index, and the MACD. And there was something else. Fibonacci retracements, which I've done a lot of videos on lately. So if you haven't seen, you can just scroll down a little. And also somebody asked me, and I don't know if they're still in here, I'll never be able to find their comment, but they asked about scanners. And I think you should answer that because you've done so many scanner videos, and that's like kind of Sierra's thing. I've even duetted some of her scanner videos because they're so good. I use TD Ameritrade. Their scanners are okay, but FinViz, which is what you like, explain away.
I definitely prefer FinViz because I have premium trading view, and even there I just feel like sometimes it gets a little finicky, where it's not as easy in my opinion. The filters are so easy to use on FinViz because all you do is go to all and you can filter out everything that you want. I have like a list in my little booklet because we're the notebook crew.
Yeah.
I have a couple, I have formulas listed, like 1, 2, I think I have 12 formulas, and I think I've put 4 of them on on TikTok on my channel and stuff somewhere. I've done one for screening for earnings coming up, dividends, unusual volume, and just good trending, uptrend, up channel stocks. I think those are the 4 that I've put on. They're very sporadic though, but you'll see them. They're all kind of like labeled and stuff right on the top of mine if anybody ever wanted to check, because they are up there. And then actually, honestly, the easiest place to probably find them would be my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is not nearly as extensive as Ken's, but I really only put, because I tried doing everything for a while. I tried setting up my Instagram page because that's so much easier for me to get out information. I don't have to get presentable and come and talk to everybody like I do in TikTok. So I do like my Instagram page, but even that, growing so slowly. And that's not like, I'm not complaining about it to like you guys and everything, but it's not as easy as I was hoping because I have such an amazing following on TikTok that it's not like, it just doesn't transfer over as much as I had wanted to.
Yeah.
What about the date formula? You never told me that. Oh, that's very clever, everyone. Yes, there is no date formula or one-on-one that is outside of my Calendly, my Zoom videos or Zoom conferences. I did have a question or two, just only because he's one of my absolute favorites and regulars. I do have Umar, who got in a little bit late. I will touch on I just touch on these two for you really quick because we did talk about them and discuss them and stuff already. So we talked a little bit about Nokia. Nokia has been increasing for the last 3 weeks based on its own merit and company fundamentals, and it's currently sitting nicely above the 20-day SMA. It looks like a good continuance. If you are in it, I think that you can ride it as it continues to go up. If you're looking to get into the stock, do the external research, but I think that it looks like a good buy. That's just my 2 cents. Do with it what you will. And for those of you who are in time and you follow me, you know that I am getting a little shaky right now because it's getting a little close to my covered call. Okay, I have one out for $2. I really don't want to get it up there because I like using it for my covered calls, but it is getting dangerously close on time. So it's sitting at $1.66. It got up to $1.73 today. So I am getting a little nervous because I still have like 2 weeks out on this thing, but I think that it's only building up until earnings. To be totally honest, I don't know if it will jump up into the region that everyone wants it to be, which is around that $3 range. I think that people are just getting hopeful for earnings that are coming up on June 10th. So if you want to ride the trend and you want to ride the increased share price up until earnings, you have that option. Continue to do your own research and decide if getting into this trade is worth it for you. But just remember that there could be a large influx of people who pull out of the trade after earnings is released. So that's my 2 cents on time and Nokia. I hope that helps.
Nadeem, the guy who asked about technical analysis, would like your thoughts. Yes. He says, what are Sierra's thoughts on technical analysis?
I'm such an analytical person, and I'm also extremely conservative on there. But so I love technical analysis. When it comes to indicators, Ken and I use very, very similar ones, except I probably use even just a little bit less because I feel like when it comes to stock trading on indicators, like less is more. I've watched some day traders and some of these diamond hand bros that are flashing their charts on TikTok that have like 7 different colored lines. And I'm like, yo, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. This is too much. I also use Bollinger Bands. I rarely use Fibonacci retracement tools, but that's because I'm not day trading and I'm not actively trading as much. Otherwise, it's extremely useful and I would highly recommend using it. I use the MACD and RSI as well. And then I actually like for just for peace of mind look to make sure I'm seeing what I think I see. I do like super trend, but it is extremely reactive to the market. It will be delayed by probably 4 to 5 candles on its indicator triggers of where it tells you to buy and sell. So just keep that in mind. That's definitely one that I use. And then I'm very heavy on stock news. Very, very heavy. I use it as part of my analysis sequence when I'm looking into a stock, because one of the things that a chart could look excellent and then the next day, the CEO of the company could be charged with assault or domestic violence, and then like it's down, it's gone, something crazy could happen. Or one just like what happened with SOS, and the same thing that's been going on with HCMC is a legal action. Nobody likes to see legal action. It causes people to pause before investing into a stock. So I think that looking into the news cycle of a company is always super important for deciding if you're getting into a stock or not.
But when legal action is over, it's almost always a good thing for the stock because it's yes. Past, right? So like. Yep. Even if it's something awful like a plane crash or something like the Peloton thing where like I think some kid crawled on the treadmill and got killed. Oh my gosh. Yes. These things are awful, but when the company pays out and there's a settlement or they lose and they're found guilty or whatever, the stock almost always goes up because Wall Street uncertainty and Wall Street don't get along. And so when the settlement is over, the data, they're found guilty or they pay out, stock usually goes up. Yeah. The Carolina kid was the one who wanted to know about the scanners, so they say thank you. Spicy Cho is asking, thoughts on AMC being frozen or halted for 5 minutes today. It was 61, it got halted, and then it dropped to 51, but then shot up after. So halts happen. So I think we talked about this earlier, or maybe I was talking about it before Sierra came on. I think a lot of inexperienced traders think that these halts are being done to suppress the little guy, right? That the hedge funds have gotten together and they're like, halt the stock. The little guys are making too much money. And then it halts. And that's not how these things work. The hedge funds really, frankly, don't care that you exist, right? They're doing their own thing. They have so much money and they're fighting each other. Like we talked about with Wall Street, the movie, the hedge funds, they're always beefing with each other. There are some who are short. There are some who are long. they don't factor in retail too much. Maybe a little bit more now because of what's been going on. But we're really not. Anyway, so the point is, these stocks are getting halted. So halts can happen for a few reasons. One, the New York Stock Exchange can halt a stock if there's misinformation out there or an unverified rumor that is causing the stock to plummet or skyrocket. New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, whoever, they can halt a stock. They can go, whoa, 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 halt for 5 minutes so we can fact check, see what's going on.
Yep.
Then when they get the information, they can lift the halt, and it's done to prevent panic selling or panic buying. It's not done to suppress the little guy. So the other kind of halt that can happen is something called a circuit breaker halt, which is it's technology based. It's not a person sitting at a computer going, "Oh, the little guys are making too much money. Halt it. Let's show them who's boss." It's the software is actually saying, and it's set to trigger on 7%, 13%, and 20% when a stock goes up way too quickly. So a stock can go up 7% over the course of a day gradually, no halts. If it's a sudden surge, 7% boom, or 13% boom, or 20% surge in the stock price, it triggers on the circuit breaker and it automatically halts. And this can happen when the stock is going up or down. So it's not that the hedge funds are punishing us. It's that there was so much, whatever you want to call it. I said in a video earlier that it was probably a little short squeezing. I got shredded in the comments. I don't know if you saw that video, but they shredded me going, it's not a short squeeze. The short squeeze hasn't even happened yet. The reality is there's not just one short squeeze. Short squeezes there can be dozens of them. We saw that with GameStop, where they would short it, it would go higher, they would have to cover their shorts, they would squeeze it, they would short it again, thinking, oh, 200, how much more could it possibly go? And then it would go higher, and then they would short it again, and then they would lose, and they would have to cover again. So there can be multiple short squeezes, and FOMO, and these hedge funds. There's so many factors that are pushing the stock price up that when you see this, look at the candlestick today for AMC. It was like this.
And I would have agreed with you, no matter what anybody else and stuff would have said, because when it comes down to the fundamentals, there's no other reason for this stock to have these types of jumps other than a short squeeze.
Right.
Like, there's no other reason that it should pop up. I don't know if anybody else is on or following, but AMCers can go ahead and continue to get excited. It is up another 9% after hours. It is now up to $68. It closed today at $62.55, and it is up to $68.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are in it, congratulations. But I will say, as always, please do not get left holding the bag. This stock is not invincible. I really do not think that it is going to get up to the GMC. I always say GMC. To the GameStop margin.
And I also
really don't think it's going to.
I also say GameStop. Do you say that too? I say GameStop.
It might as well be. It might as well be at that point. But I just think that we all need to be able to err on the side of caution and understand that, you're taking profits now, even if it continued to go up. Like, sure, you might be, I'm not going to say kicking yourself, but you made a really good chunk of profit already. There's no reason to beat yourself up if it decides to keep going, because it could drop just as quickly. So just make sure that everyone's being modest. Don't get humbled by the market.
There's a lot of comments in here from people going, I have Webull and they halted it. I have Robinhood and they halted it. It's not the brokers who are halting these stocks. It's usually the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. Does the SEC also halt? I can't remember if the SEC also halts.
I think it's been said to happen before, but I don't think that they've put their hands in this cookie jar yet.
But it's not. Robinhood isn't halting the trading. And I know Robinhood is the bad guy, and people hate Robinhood, and justifiably, they've done some stuff. But when the stock gets halted, it's not Robinhood. Robinhood, or what's his name, Vlad, or whatever his name is, the CEO. He's not sitting there going, halt it. The little guys are making too much money. It's bigger than Robinhood and Webull and TD Ameritrade. It's the New York Stock Exchange that's coming in and halting the stock. Where someone just said, I don't think someone just said that in the comments. Do you think it'll clear 100 AMC is the next comment?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible. You know what I mean? Just with where it's going, like I think that it's possible. But I still want everyone to behave rationally. because it could very easily just decide to go back down tomorrow. It's very possible that, it doesn't continue to go up like GameStop did.
Yeah. Oh, some people are saying Robinhood did halt it on their own too. Okay.
They did for Dogecoin. I know, and I only know that because I actually watched an interview with him and that Stock Talk girl that I'm losing my mind that I can't remember her name because I really do like her. But they had like a very candid interview, and he had talked about how he's going to be working with the people who utilize the Robinhood app on a little bit more transparency. He's like, I just think that people need to understand that so many things were happening. We needed to cause a halt because we couldn't keep up with all of the orders in and out. So it's one of the things that and I don't agree with that, but it did happen that way. It
also, I believe there was some liquidity issue too with GameStop where they didn't have enough money to cover themselves, so they stopped. They restricted, but I think restricting trading is different from a halt. I think a halt happens when the New York Stock Exchange says no one's allowed to touch the stock. I think being restricted is what Robinhood is doing. I think maybe people are getting confused on the wording, or maybe I'm getting confused. Oh, Lala said, don't interrupt her. Sorry. Sorry.
I didn't think that you were interrupting me. I did have a funny comment on this side. Derek said that Robinhood has been robbing the hood.
Yeah, someone said that too on my side. Was it the same guy who said that?
Derek Yo one.
Yeah, he said it on mine too. He's jumping back and forth, and he's saying the same comments.
Jumping back.
Yeah.
He says, good thing I'm from Canada.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Someone just asked a question that I thought was a good one, and I got to find it now.
Okay.
Oh, please explain a trailing stop. Okay, so a trailing stop. So would you like to explain? Then you explain if it's your favorite, because I don't use them.
No, it's okay.
My
first thing that I will say about trailing stop loss is that they do not work after hours.
Yes.
So please keep that in mind. It does not work after hours.
They also don't work when the stock gets halted, right? So if a stock is $60, like let's use AMC. If AMC is $60 and you say if it goes down $3 or $5 or 6%, you can choose dollars or percentage, and the halt gets lifted and it drops 15%, your stop loss does not trigger. So you could end up getting wiped out or having a smaller profit. In the case of AMC, not, because it came back up, but just because AMC did doesn't mean that it always will. So you can use so a trailing stop. It follows the price of the stock basically. So you can say if there's a stock that's $10 a share and you use a regular stop loss, you say if it goes down 5% or if it goes down $3 and the stock is $10, it'll get out at $7. But what if the stock goes up to $30 or $40? Your stop loss is still all the way down at $7. So the way a trailing stop loss works is that it follows the stock. As the stock goes higher, your trailing stop loss is always just a little bit below. So that 4% that you use or 7% that you use is always following the stock price up or dollar amount. Would you like to?
Nope, that was basically, I think you're completely right. It's trailing. It's following your stock price, and you can use, just like Ken said, either a percentage or a money, like a determined set of money for if it goes down, it will trigger your stop loss and get you out. In theory, it's nothing. It's never a guarantee. I've never had a stop loss not work except for one that did not trigger after hours. Those are the only times that I've truly been at a loss. And that's the risk that you take.
Yeah, so DJ Roos says, not true. My stop loss was triggered after a halt. It could have been triggered after a halt if your stop loss was below the drop, right? So AMC was 61, it dropped to 51. So if your stop loss was a larger percentage drop than that, then it could have triggered. I don't know if that's making sense, but that's how my brain said it.
And it could have triggered afterwards too. I've had some people say that there was a halt. I think it was the last AMC round. Some people had asked me, they're just like, why didn't it stop me during the halt, like that percentage? Because when it came back, it had dropped significantly. And it did trigger on the long run. So even though it went past there, I think they had I think they did like a 16% drop. Right. Even though it had gone past that, it triggered once the halt was lifted. Yeah. So they did have that.
And that's the problem with using these stop losses during a very volatile stock like this is you can see what happens with AMC, right? So it was 61. It got halted. It dropped to 51, and then it went right back up. So you might be, when you use these stop losses, you might be just getting out a little too early, and not giving the stock the chance it needs to correct, pull back, sell off a little bit for profit taking, and then rally. You might be accidentally getting out of something too soon that has still maybe more potential. And there was another question in here. Maybe you should answer. They're asking what the percentage you use. Do you use a percentage, or does it change per stock?
I often like to use a quantity. I like to use a monetary quantity when I do my stop losses, just because I usually don't set mine until it gets past a certain point anyway, because I don't set stop losses the second that I get into a trade, because I want to see how it's moving, because I don't want to be triggered if it ends up being a stock that is being very swingy. I don't want it to be triggered on accident. So not an accident, but like before the trade gets started, I don't want it to get triggered. So I usually wait, and then I usually set a monetary amount. And depending on, it really does, it depends on the trade size, because if I'm trading a smaller, if I'm trading a larger quantity of a smaller price like share stock, it's got to be smaller, because $5 would put me in the negative sometimes. Like, that wouldn't make sense. And so it depends, but I usually pick a point above my profit margin, and just like meeting my profit margin. Like, it will never go lower than the amount of profit that I wanted. I don't, like, that's usually where I set my stop loss, is at my profit margin that I had. So somebody had asked on my side, they said, sorry for spamming, wondering if you two noticed it also, really want some other opinions on it. Did you have any questions from a Naz, N-A-Z underscore Z-O? Because I don't have a question on this side.
They were
I
in
asked
here.
her what we could help with.
They were in here earlier, but I didn't see a question. But there are so many questions on my end that I'm like scrolling through. I haven't even got through half.
So Naz, if you're still on my side, send the question to my side, because it's a lot more likely to get seen, because I don't have as many people on my side.
Yeah, or if you're on my side and you're asking a question and I don't answer, just post it a couple. I don't mind if you spam, because I'm not going to see it. There's so many. Someone asked, can you trade after hours on Ameritrade? Yes, until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is the cutoff. And you asked about AMC, but you can trade anything after hours. And I don't use trailing stop losses, and I don't use stop losses, because I'm a full-time trader, so I'm always sitting at my screen. And what Sierra said about using different stop losses for different stocks, I do as well. The thing is, you have to understand, like, each stock is different. So you can't say, oh, I'm going to get out of everything at a 3% loss, right? There might be something that you swing trade or are trading that is volatile, and it moves 4% on volatility. Why would your stop loss be 3% or 4% if you know it's a stock that can swing 4% up and down over and over? Setting your stop loss at 4% means you're getting out in its normal trading range. You should set that particular stock at a 5 or 6% stop loss to give yourself some more wiggle room. So it really does depend. Lawless is asking if you're a full-time trader. No. Well, I shouldn't answer your question.
No, you're totally fine, because you know the answer. No, I have a full-time job, guys. I work for the state. But I do this as I would say in a part-time capacity. I have basically 3 to 4 swings going on at any time. I have an extensive long-term portfolio, and then I also have investment portfolios. And then, as most of you guys know, I do also invest in crypto. And I have a small side, I mean, not really, I wouldn't even consider it necessarily a business, but I do consulting for new and beginner stock and crypto traders, just to help with fundamentals and basics of technical analysis. So some people will reach out to me, and I do one-on-one sessions. So that's my capacity in the stock market. I don't do recommendations. I don't give people calls. I don't run a Discord. It's mainly just for allowing people, because some people, you can read things as many times as you want.
Right.
Why can't my question go through? I think that she might be asking a question that's getting flagged, because she's following up with questions that are pertaining to a question that's never been posted.
Yeah, she's in here, and she says I'm back. So I think she's jumping back and forth.
Yeah, she said, why do you think that is? And then on my side again, it says, why can't my question go through? LOL. I have no idea, honey. I don't know what the question is. I still don't have a question that I can answer. So all I can say is maybe wherever you are, if it's on my side or Ken's, try asking the question again.
Yeah.
Just the question that you want answered. Because we would love to answer it, but I have no idea what the question is.
Chaotic, this is a username. Chaotic Flesh is saying, can you speak more about Bollinger Bands and how to use them? It's going to be a little harder now since I'm sitting on my couch and I don't have my computer. If you go on my YouTube channel, I have a full playlist on technical analysis, and in the playlist that's called Click Here If You're New to Trading or Investing or whatever it's called, there's also introduction videos to Bollinger Bands, how to use them, how to set them up so they look like mine. They've been the one, like when I first started trading, that's been my like number one technical analysis. And as I got better as a trader, I added others over the years. But Bollinger Bands are really mine, the one that I use. When the bands are really far apart, you don't want to be trading. When they condense, it's an indicator that there could be a breakout. But there's so much more to it than that. Hold on, I got another question from Rebecca Young about Dogecoin. Is it still a buy? At what point do you get out and take profits? 20%. Do you trade Dogecoin?
Yeah, I did. Not in a realistic capacity. that sounds poor. Basically, after the giant Doge coin where it got really excited and it went to 9 cents and people were really excited about it, and then it dropped back down and kind of like simmered for a while. At that point, I invested. I got in at 5 cents, and I did ride it through the first cycle. I ended up selling around 38 cents. Then it continued in that first wave to go to 48 cents, and then the next time around, it went up into the 80 cents range. Right. And now it is back down in the 30s. Even went to the 20s for a little bit during the little bit of the correction that we've seen in cryptocurrency.
Do you think that's really it for the crypto? What was that? Do you think that's it, or do you think there's another like real crypto winter that's going to be coming in a couple months?
I think that there will be a winter coming. We've seen a little bit of correction. It's coming back in stuff already a little bit. I got to buy some cool stuff in on the last dip that we had, but I do think that this isn't where it's going to stop. I think that do I think that it'll be worse than this? No, but I think that it will happen again. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that because I'm an investor. Yeah. So I'm like, that's fine. Like I'll buy the smaller dips that they have. Oh wait, I think we finally have the question. I think it's here. It says, why do you think it is AMC and GME's chart mirror each other? So that's a fun question. I'm going to look now and see if they do mirror each other.
Yeah,
I think that they're probably going to be a little similar, but they're definitely not the same. I was just on the GME chart. Definitely not the same. If we're looking at AMC, we have had a long string of consolidation from about October of 2020. It was basically the same ever since that initial dip down in the $2 to $5 range. It has been, the sell-off occurs at the same time for each. So the sell-off occurred at the same time for each because of the fact that these were pumped by regular Wall Street bet investors. The pump and the sell-off happened at the same time because these stocks weren't moving on merit. They were moving due to the market. And that's why you would see them a little bit more similar. This increase that we're seeing right now, I know that there is a small increase with GameStop, but it is not this significant. It is not this high. And I think that that's one of the things that that will be said and stuff here is they definitely don't mirror each other. I think that they rhyme a little bit. Do I think that they're similar traders? Absolutely. There is definitely probably the same group of traders that decided to try and chase that GameStop trend are definitely the traders that are in this now, which means that there will definitely be the same people who got murdered by GameStop. I'm not saying that those same people will get butchered by AMC, but I'm saying that there will be a new group of people who get butchered by AMC. Or if they refuse to learn their lesson. We don't know where the ceiling is. Yeah. Yes, if you don't it's those who, it's those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
And that's
it also reminds me of like that definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. It's similar to that too.
And then my favorite quote by Mark Twain is that history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
Yeah.
And that's where we are right now. So these things do look very similar, and it's because the same types of things are happening, but they're not necessarily the same. So the sell-offs are the same because it was the same people trading both of them.
Right.
And so I think that for right now, we will continue, and we could possibly continue to see some increases and stuff here, but it's getting really steep. You know what I mean? It's getting up there, and we don't know where the ceiling is, and that's the dangerous part. Is there's no way to fundamentally and taking the technicals of this and finding the ceiling for ourselves, because it's already at an irrational price point.
Yeah.
And so that's where you are. You're gambling at this point. If you were to buy in now in hopes that it makes it to $100, if it makes it to $100, that's fantastic for you. I hope that you're wise enough to take your profits. But there is nothing to say that tomorrow we will not wake up to a $30 price point for AMC. There's just nothing saying that. Somebody had touched in before and said that there are a lot of calls going out for $73 on AMC. And that's awesome. I'm happy for them. That gives you a little bit of hope that this will continue to rise, but it's not a guarantee.
Right.
It's not a guarantee. And I just hope that everyone, if you want to YOLO some cash at it, by all means do so. It's just, I want everyone to manage their expectations when it comes to AMC and what it is capable of right now.
Yeah. So Taltrepreneur asks, do you actively check, how do you actively check short interest? There's a website called highshortinterest.com that lists like the top 10 most heavily shorted stocks, but on any, whether it's Yahoo Finance, TD Ameritrade, on any stock's bio page, you'll see the short interest towards kind of the bottom of the screen. On TD Ameritrade, at least, it's on the very last column, like, you know, say like price to earnings, dividend, all that other stuff, high and low of the year. At the very end, usually, at least on Ameritrade, is the short interest. So that's where you can check that. Short interest, by the way, only updates twice per month. There are websites. I got a lot of spam comments today from people saying Ortex has more accurate data. The thing that I thought was so funny about all these Ortex comments is that people are saying we can't trust the hedge funds, we can't trust the banks, but Ortex has the most accurate data. Where does Ortex get their data from? The hedge funds, the banks, the brokerages. So for people saying you can't trust Ortex and you can't trust the hedge funds, but you can trust Ortex, look where they get their data from. Oh yeah, her question came in here too. So Super White Satan asked me, well, let me answer this first since we're on the topic. Do you see AMC at the same price of GameStop? No. That's not to say that it can't happen, but I don't think it will happen because AMC has way more shares in their float than GameStop and way less short interest than GameStop. GameStop at the time had 70 million shares, so not very many, and they were short 140% interest, or the short interest was 140%. AMC has over 400 million shares, and their short interest as of right now is like 20%. So it's just not realistic to assume, and we talked about this earlier, just because one company does something doesn't mean they'll all follow suit, right? Just because Berkshire Hathaway is 400,000 doesn't mean every stock will become 400,000. Just because Bitcoin went to 60,000 doesn't mean every cryptocurrency will go there. Just because GameStop hit 470 doesn't mean AMC will. And you have to understand the reasons that factor into someone like Sierra or myself making that assumption or that guess. We could still be wrong. It still could, but it won't be because of a short squeeze if AMC's short interest is still at 20%, right? It could be FOMO. It could just be hedge funds buying huge amounts of stock in this company that drive it higher. But it wouldn't be because of a short squeeze if they're only short 20%. That's just not enough to push the stock higher. And then I had to get back to Super White Satan because he, yeah, of course she has a TikTok. If we're on TikTok together, yeah, she has a TikTok. You can click on it. It's Sierra 2 Cents right there on the bottom of her screen, and you should absolutely follow her because let me read Super White Satan's comment to you. Ask her what her price target is on time. She seems pretty smart. No, not seems. He just said she's pretty smart. I added the seems. I don't know why I added the seems because you are smart. Ask her price point on time. She's pretty smart.
Yeah, see, and I didn't get that on this side, which is odd because I normally I would see him if he was there. Yeah, so overall, like I said on time, what my overall price point is I'm aiming for long term at least is to get back to its last little resistance level, which would be around $20 or $2.20. Do I want it to get there right now? No, because I have some covered calls out on $2, and I'd really like to where yes, it would still be a profit for me if they did decide to go ahead and sell. If it did execute, I'd be fine. I'd still be making profit. But I like just recycling my covered calls for time. But I mean, if it hits that $2 mark, that's fine. But I do think that that's going to be our first goal target. That's the first target goal for this stock is going to be around $2.20. That is the last bit of a resistance line that we have between January and the middle of March. It was consistently hanging out above that level. We did have that peak in February that was around $3.20, but I just don't think that it's going to get back up into that price point right now. It's going to need a little bit more actual profit and earnings coming in for the actual company before we see that type of movement because time isn't being I'm not going to say it's not heavily traded right now. It is increasing because a lot of people are becoming interested in it again. But overall, they're going to need to move a little bit themselves.
Yeah. So I have two comments in here I'm going to read. Teddy Frickson says, do you use Ortex? Is it worth it? I've been trading stocks for 11 years. I'm a swing trader and occasional day trader. And I've talked about this a lot. I trade in my bubble. I find my 10 stocks and I trade them over and over. And occasionally, I hear something, people are going, oh, look at this one. And I'll look at it and maybe I'll hop in on the trade. But I really stick to my small percentage of stocks. I am not chasing, like you're seeing so many people do, pivoting from one short to another, going, which one's going to be the next? So I don't use Ortex. It is, I think, $50 a month or maybe $75 a month for more accurate data on like shorting and short interest in stocks. That's not my game. So no, I don't use Ortex. I can't tell you if it's worth it because it's not something I've really even heard of up until like a week ago. And then the other question from someone whose username I'm not going to say, but I'm up $50,000 today on, I'm assuming AMC, and I'm still holding, or HODL. That's your choice. If the way I always put it is, if I knocked on your door right now and I had $50,000 in cash, would you take it? Like if I said to you, here's $50,000, I can come back. I can come back in a week and it might be 100,000 or it might be zero. What are you going to do?
You're not up 500 until you're not up that 50K until you've actually made 50K. It's the same thing we like to tell ourselves. We didn't take a loss until we sell. Well, you didn't win anything until you sell. You didn't make any money until you sell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's definitely.
Teddy, I hope you heard. I just answered your question about Ortex. I don't know if you jumped out of the live and came back in, but he asked the question again, probably while I was answering it. So I'm going to assume you heard my answer. And by the way, for everyone who's in here asking these repeat questions, I don't know, Sierra, if you do this, but I take these lives and I upload them onto my YouTube channel. So if you missed this live or you're asking, hey, what do you think is going to happen with AMC? Oh, you got it. Okay, good. They're going to be on YouTube tomorrow. So unless I've also had it where you have too, where sometimes you can't download them. I don't know why.
Yeah, we had that happen our first one, and I'm not sure if it's because it was too long, maybe. Because I think that our second one was a little bit short, not much shorter, but I think it was a little shorter than the first one was. The first one we just had so much fun and really got carried away. Like we were just.
Sunny is asking what HODL means. It's just a typo for hold that has been adapted by the Reddit community or Wall Street Bets community. It's just their way of saying hold, never sell your stock, which is funny because it's been turned into an acronym for hold on for dear life. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Teebs is in here. Hello. Yeah. Oh, so test is saying, why do people say the shorts haven't covered yet? How do they know? So apparently this Ortex website has more accurate data on the short interest that's happening. So that's where some people are saying they're getting their information from. The joke is they're all saying you can't trust the hedge funds. You can't trust Wall Street. Ortex gets their data from the hedge funds and from Wall Street.
Yep.
So if you're saying you don't trust Wall Street, but you're trusting Ortex's data, that's your decision if you want to make. If you trust Wall Street, then you trust Ortex. If you don't trust Wall Street, then you probably don't trust Ortex. I personally think this spike, I did it today. I was telling Sierra earlier, I got chewed up in the comments on my video from earlier today where AMC had a straight meteoric rise up for like 2 candlesticks, just straight up again. And I said, this is what a short squeeze looks like. There's no real way to know that a short squeeze is or isn't happening, except for you see a meteoric rise in volume. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a short squeeze, right? It can be that a company had amazing news or amazing earnings or a merger or some rumors coming out that it also can push a stock way higher. But in the case of a stock that's heavily shorted, when you see a sudden surge in volume, buying volume, it usually is an indicator. That there is a cover that they're covering their shorts. Doesn't mean, by the way, that everyone's covering. It could just be one hedge fund or a couple of hedge funds who have hundreds of millions of dollars invested in the stock or shorting a stock and are now covering. Could be 2 out of the hundreds of hedge funds. We don't really know. Yeah, someone else, Amy Turner, just said HODL stands for hold on for dear life.
Yep, there we go. It's the
this is
the
a good
younging.
This is a good question from Michael Schwartz 38. Do you think these meme stocks are detrimental to the market as a whole? I don't. I think they're detrimental, maybe a little bit, but you know what I think, and it's the same for Dogecoin, and Sierra will probably want to answer this too. I see a lot of people trash talking Dogecoin, AMC, and GameStop and all that stuff. If it brings more people in, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's like a gateway, these stocks.
Gateway.
Yeah, it's like a gateway drug, but like in a good way. It's like a gateway investment, maybe. Like you get in because of GameStop or AMC or Dogecoin, and you're like, hey, what's going on in here? Let me check all this stuff out. If you get crushed, and you don't learn your lesson, and you keep making the same mistakes over and over, chasing, buying at the top, selling at the bottom, and stuff like that, then yes, I think it is detrimental. If you are getting in, maybe you lose a little on some of these stocks. Like what I did when I first started, I lost on a lot of my trades when I first started investing and trading. And then I said, you know what? This sucks. Like losing money sucks. But if I was on the other side of these trades, I'd be very profitable. I have to figure out how to get on the other side of these trades so I can be profitable. And once that happened, yes, Cyberpunk. It's a good learning experience. Even if they get blown away, they'll realize it quickly. Yes, this can be a tremendous learning experience. You can learn a lot from it, and you can make some money too. The important thing is when you make this dumb luck money is that you do something smart with it, like really invest it. Test says I bought 600 shares of AMC at $8. Nice. Cyberpunk.
Good for you. That's awesome.
He's saying my only gripe is the fundamentals don't matter anymore. I think it's
with YOLO stocks, I would agree with that. With the stocks that have kind of been taken out of our hands as traders and people who follow the technical analysis.
Money Badger.
Yeah, I think that Money Badger. That's
Money Badger's here.
Name.
Do you know the Money Badger? Do you follow him? You should follow the Money Badger. He's a book reseller.
I actually don't know that name. I just like badgers, and anybody who uses a badger in their name is all right with me. But I will, if that's definitely something that I support, is following new people.
Yeah.
Especially in the Stock Talk community. It's funny because we had touched on it a little bit earlier, and I'll try not to get too sidetracked. But like my FYP on this particular account. Because I do have 2. I have one for my nonsense and then I have one for my stock talk. And on this account, when I go to the FYP, none of it is finance or stock talk related. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what am I clicking on or interacting with that brings me to when I'm flipping through in the morning, I can't tell you how many times I pass by the lives of people reading tarot cards. I'm like, where am I right now? Like, I'm literally
because you like technical analysis.
I never click on them. I never like interact with those types of pages. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but it's not what I want my TikTok to be when I'm on and stuff in the morning. Like funny videos every once in a while, I'm fine with. That's awesome. But like I'm scrolling through and I'm like, why am I seeing this? I jumped on the other day and like you've got I know it's Pride Month and stuff now, so I'm seeing a lot more on that end too. And I think that's because TikTok is pushing it out a little bit more, which I'm okay with. But like my For You page is nothing to do with the community that I'm a part of on Stock Talk. So I'm trying to fix that. And I think by like adding more people from our community, I think that it'll be easier to fix it. I need to fix my algorithm because it's broken.
I have a comment in here that's answering your question. Paul is saying, TikTok pays attention to the videos that you watch from beginning to end and then shows you more like that. So maybe
that
you're
explains all the Harry Potter videos.
There you go. Yeah, because I watch a lot of cat videos and dog videos being stupid, and I get a lot of those. So Super White Satan says, what kind of paranoia do you live with being a swing trader? I have a 9-to-5 job, and I'm wondering. I don't know that I have paranoia, but I guess I do have some stock anxiety from time to time. If I'm up, huge on a stock, I start second guessing myself. Should I take my profits now? Oh no. That's why I always think it's important to have a goal or a price target in mind, whether it's a dollar amount or a percentage amount. That way, when you hit your goal, you sell and you're feeling justified. You've made the right decision because you hit your goal. Also, to never. Strat says, "Oh my God, my 2 favorite stock people." All right. Jason Howell, is the squeeze close? So I think it's already kind of been happening a little bit. We just answered this question a minute ago. I think there was a little bit of a squeeze today, not the full one. I think there might be more because what we have been seeing is that there's more short interest coming. People are shorting AMC even more now. So there could be another squeeze later on in the week for sure. Yeah, Super White Satan. I know if I made a total living on my trades, I would have sold all of my AMC at 50. I've at this point, the stuff that I'm holding in AMC is just my YOLO stuff, and we'll just see what happens. Let's see here. Oh, here's one for you from Jeremy. Should I sell all of my Dogecoin and put it into AMC?
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just okay, so Dogecoin has been given, and I did a video on, I think it was a video on it, or maybe it was in my live yesterday because I'm forgetting what day it is anymore. But I had talked about a little bit about what's going on with Doge. So as much as everyone, hi Wayne, how are you? As much as everyone is really excited about Dogecoin and all of the things that it's potentially capable of, right now with its current market cap, it's physically not possible for it to go past $2. And I do not think that it will get close to that. I think that the top, like the ceiling that we have for it is around $1 and $1.50. Now, this isn't just from my math that I've done. It's just looking at the market cap of the outstanding coins. It's absolutely not possible unless something like this were to happen. But shorting in cryptocurrency is a lot different than it doesn't work the same. So there would obviously be a little bit of a difference and stuff with that. And I'm not saying that it's not possible because we know how much Elon Musk likes to use his Twitter account. But just for the coin that it is right now, they have given it utility. It is movable. For those of you who have Coinbase, it's supposed to be going live on Coinbase tomorrow, which is also kind of exciting because Coinbase really only promotes or has on its page stable community coins. So I think that says a lot about Dogecoin as well. So I wouldn't necessarily get rid of that for a potential gamble with AMC, because like we said, nobody knows where the ceiling is for that stock right now. It might be there. It might be at its ceiling. It might be at its breach point, and tomorrow it could go ahead and drop. So I think you're investing in Dogecoin right now. By having your money in Doge, you're putting your chance into an investment, whereas right now AMC would be a complete gamble.
Yeah.
AMC Lotto or GME Lotto or AMC Lotto.
I choose AMC. Neither.
I choose AMC. I would choose AMC also. I feel like GameStop is a much more expensive lottery ticket that might not pay out. So if those were my two options, I would go with AMC.
Okay, I have some comments in here. Kaji, you're asking about BlackBerry. We've talked about it already. For everyone who's asking a lot of new questions, a lot of people just joined for some reason, and they're asking the questions that we've already been talking about. I don't want to repeat for everyone who's been in here since the beginning. They're going to have to listen to it again. What I do is I take these lives, I upload them to YouTube. So I would say tomorrow, go and check my YouTube channel. Link is in my bio, and also follow Sierra. Like someone just asked, how do you define a screener or how do you set up a screener? We've both got tons of screener videos. Derek is saying, what are you two talking about? We were talking about Dogecoin. RMax4 says, Kenny, who is this chick? This is my friend, Sierra, and she is a stock trader and a swing trader, and she invests, and she is very smart, and you should all follow her.
You. Hello, everyone. And I know that I might have like a little bit more. I'm very responding to if anybody has any individual questions, you can feel free to. I fixed my TikTok, found out how people can go ahead and message me now on TikTok without it being a problem. So you can message me on here or on my Instagram, and I am very responsive. Like I said, if you have any individual questions, I'd be happy to help you. If it's anything like extensive, like you really just want to have a conversation, like I said, I do individual Zooms through my Calendly. It's all in the link in my bio. But other than that, I am very responsive. And I have a very, very free weekly watch list if anybody was interested in joining that. That's in my, it comes out every Sunday for the next, and it just shows you what I'm keeping an eye on for myself for that upcoming week. And it has a ton of information on those individual stocks so that you guys don't have to do all the legwork yourself. And I've had a lot of people really like it, and it's free as can be. And I don't spam, nothing crazy. But you can join that list. Just add your email. It's in the link in my bio.
Faithful to You is asking, why are they boosting their shorts on AMC? Probably because they're stupid. I think these hedge funds are thinking that this is going to dump and they're going to make money. And they, what we were just talking about was learning your lesson. When you're a retail trader or you're new and you get crushed on something, it's important for new traders and new investors, just regular people, to learn their lesson. I think these hedge funds need to learn their lesson too. They lost out big, some of them, on shorting GameStop, and they're trying to do it again. There's a lot. People are saying the short squeeze hasn't even really happened yet. It might not have, because now that AMC is $70, you better believe more people are going to be trying to short the stock. And if it drops, they're going to make money. And if it has another big run, they're going to get squeezed out again, and they're going to have to cover, which is going to push it even higher. So in theory, AMC could be 100, and then there could be another short squeeze. Eventually, though, people shorted GameStop when it was 470, and it dropped pretty hard. Then they made a lot of money. So that's kind of just how this thing goes. Someone else is saying, I think AMC will go higher because there are 9 top movies coming out this year. I think you're probably right. Which is what makes AMC interesting, because there's a lot of people betting against it, but there's a lot of reasons to short term like AMC. Maybe long term, fundamentally, they're kind of shaky, but short term, COVID is ending. People are getting vaccinated. Sierra's been to the movie already a whole bunch of times.
I think that's just the one thing that we need to be a little bit wary of, is I think that we're past the fundamentals. As much as I like the idea that all of these top movies are going to be coming out this year, I honestly, what's happening to AMC right now has nothing to do with the movies, nothing to do with their profit margins, nothing to do with them even reopening right now. It's kind of out of our hands. It's everything that's happening with AMC is a short squeeze, and it's completely arbitrary. So all of these people thinking that things might continue to increase because of, you can't have both. You can't have the short squeeze that's going on and the fundamentals of the company both make it rise at the same time. I don't think that I don't think that those two things will play hand in hand. I think that if the short squeeze pulls back a little bit, in my opinion, then maybe the fundamentals of the company will start making a roll in and be able to start moving the share price based on merit. But for right now, we don't know when this short squeeze is going to end. We don't know if the gamma squeeze will hit. We don't know if there's another 2 or 3 legs left in this giant influx. But what we do know is that right now it is not moving because of AMC. It's moving because of hedge fund managers short squeezing, and then the people fighting back, which is causing the short squeeze. All these people getting invested and getting in on the trade, which we all have. Everyone's got the right to do and be a part of that type of movement and stuff on here. But you just need to be aware that it might increase or drop back down to normal. And I don't think that we can really say that that's going to be because of the movies. I would love it to be, but I think that it's out of our hands at this point.
So there's a question about Bitcoin, and since Sierra is the Bitcoin and crypto person, she knows more than I do. Shane or Shantime1 is saying, so some prolific analysts have predicted Bitcoin to hit 25 or even 20,000. Do you agree?
25 or 20,000. Oh, like you're talking about it falling.
Yeah.
To 20. I was like, wait a second, it already hit those price points. I have heard a couple of the same things. I've heard people speculate and stuff about it. I think that would be profound. I think that would be kind of prolific right now. Very, I honestly don't see it dipping with the information that I have in front of me, and the people that I listen to, and then I look in and I try to do my best to analyze it on my own. But cryptocurrency is not exactly, it's not a mirror of the stock market. So I'm still doing a little bit of extended learning on my own. But from what I can tell and what I see is I don't see it going below 30, to be honest. 20, it was at 20K when I first joined the cryptocurrency market. That's really when I had got into it, and that was a while ago. So and even then it was in the 20s. It was never at 20. So it's been a long while since it got down that low, and I think that it's stabilized. I really think that its support area is in the lower 30s, and it's been hanging out there. But I mean, as the stocks continue to go up, that doesn't mean that during the next dip it's going to go lower than where it is now. It doesn't mean that the correction, like if you keep taking all of these steps back, your correction is going to be here. But then if you keep going up further, then the next correction could be here, which is a little bit further than where it was last time. So I don't know really what it's going to go back at. I know that it dipped a little bit below 30 for a small portion of time during this, I think it was the last pullback that we had after Elon Musk had talked about how it was expensive to mine and it was not environmentally friendly. I know that it had that little bit of a pullback, but I don't think that it'll get to $20 and stay there. So maybe if you have alerts set and you get lucky enough and you want to get in there, then absolutely, maybe it will hit that point. Maybe it is possible that for 5 minutes or an hour on a certain day, it dips down magically to that 25K range, but that doesn't mean that it's going to stay there, which means that's not the actual price that it will be.
Right.
That's not the price that it will settle at. So I don't think that it will consistently stay in the 20s, the 20,000s for any period in time. But so I think that answers the question.
Yeah, I
have
think so
a lot of people.
So I've got a question or a comment here from Laugh C7 saying your video can be misleading people into thinking the squeeze is over. So I think this needs to be said. There can be more than one short squeeze. We've talked about this a lot. And the thing I don't like about TikTok is that people will see one video of yours and then not watch any of your other videos and just make an assumption based on, look, keep in mind, if you're not a content creator, you probably don't understand this, but we're given 60 seconds max to cover some pretty serious topics. You can't cover it all in 60 seconds sometimes. If you see a video that you disagree with or you think is factually inaccurate, before jumping to a conclusion and saying, you're wrong, misleading, false information, fake news, go and watch some of the other videos around that time. Because I'm only given 60 seconds. So first of all, your video can be misleading people into thinking the squeeze is over. No, there can be multiple short squeezes like we saw with GameStop. Second, go watch some of my other videos because I addressed it and I talked more about it in the follow-up videos. Skip Trippin is in here, and he's been a fan for a while. I'm actually going to follow him back, Skip. I'm going to follow him back because he's been a really loyal follower and he's asked a lot of really good questions. His question now is, do you think that the hype of the meme stocks are going to have any lasting effect on the market? Do you have an opinion?
I'm sorry, I was reading
That's
one
okay.
more thing that was over here. What was the question?
Sure. He said, do you think that the hype of the meme stocks are going to have any lasting effect on the markets?
I don't think so. I don't think that they'll have any. The lasting effect that they're going to have on the market is the new investors. That's what we're going to have. Is we're going to have an increased amount of new and learning bodies in the stock market. But not only that, just new people in general, which means increased amounts of money is going to be in the stock market, whether it is for better or worse. But I don't necessarily think that that's an adverse effect. I think that that's what we're going to see. That's the effect that we're going to have, is more people having their hands in the cookie jar. There's going to be more people moving around, more people with information, more people with diamond hands. But overall, I think that more people being involved in the stock market is a good thing. What do you think?
I think there's probably going to be, and I don't know even how to start thinking what it could be, but I imagine if this kind of market volatility from the retail sector or group of people, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of regulations set up. They'll say that it's done to protect the little guy from losing too much money or whatever. If you want to believe that or not, that's up to you. I think there might be some regulations. Maybe they'll, and maybe it'll be to prevent, to say that you can't go short more than a certain amount because of what we saw with GameStop, where it was short 140%. Or maybe they'll do something with the halts. I don't know. I think there could be some sort of lasting effect from the meme stocks to prevent this kind of insane volatility from happening, or maybe not. And then I think, like what Sierra said, I think it's going to bring a lot of new investors in. And the thing that concerns me is I think there's going to be a lot of new investors who come in because of, like we talked about earlier, being a gateway with Dogecoin is a gateway to crypto. So people like Blockchain Boy can say they hate these altcoins and these shit coins and stuff, and there's good reason to hate them. But it's also bringing in people who might not have otherwise come over to crypto, and they're going like, hey, what is this? What Dogecoin? What's everyone talking about here? Like I've said earlier in these lives, if you're going to take a risk on something, it should be a small percentage in the risky stuff and a large percentage in the safe stuff. And so I hope that's what happens for people who make money in AMC, GameStop, Dogecoin. I hope they say 80% of my money is going to go into the smart stuff. 20% is going to go into the high risk. And that could be great. But the downside is there's going to be a lot of new investors who come in on the appeal of GameStop, AMC, Dogecoin, that get completely obliterated because they buy at the top, they sell at the bottom, and they walk away going, trading sucks, investing sucks. And that's my concern. So if you come in, you learn from it, and you're able to change, thank you, Skip. What do you consider smart stuff? I don't know what that means. Smart stuff?
I don't know.
What do you consider smart stuff? Oh, you mean like smart investments? Oh, okay. GameStop, AMC, Dogecoin, these are all very high risk kind of trades. Alex, I'm going to ask her your question in a second. They're all very high risk trades. I don't think they're smart. They can be lucrative and that can be lovely, but I don't think they're smart investments for the long term. So smart investments for the long term would be like broad market ETFs, dividends, growth stocks, stable investments. And then you can dedicate a percentage of your portfolio to the high risk stuff like cannabis, still largely unknown, so that there's some risk associated. Electric vehicles, I wouldn't say that they're high risk, but some of these companies will win out and some won't. So that's high risk. And then you can have some dumb stuff like GameStop, AMC, just for funsies. Alex wants me to ask you, do you think crypto is sustainable in the sense of material? It's going to have any sort of like, where was the rest of his question? Man, I lost it.
Somebody on here is really excited. They said Dogecoin is not going anywhere, not as long as Elon has a Twitter account.
Yeah. He's asking if there's going to be any like real use, practical use for cryptocurrency down the road, and if you think it's here to last, I guess sustainability.
I definitely think that is the case. I think that at this point in time, it would be foolish to not think of it as part of our future.
Sure.
There are too many. There's credit companies that are getting involved, large banks, Goldman Sachs. I know that JP Morgan Chase has been involved with it. Visa in general has already adopted a few of the different ones and have vowed to figure out how to incorporate cryptocurrency usage as a form of credit in the upcoming years.
Yeah.
So it's really I think it is practical. I think that it is it's going to be in our future, and I do think it'll last. Now I'm not speaking for the fast moving altcoins, especially through our crypto winter that it will be, here shortly. I don't necessarily think that there's going to be a lot of them that don't make it, that don't last, that things are really here for pump and dumps and a lot of quicker things. But the stable coins, the big ones, we've got Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, ADA, Cardano, XLM. There's a lot of them out there that have the potential to last and have already had their hands in some major projects and doing a lot of things with decentralized networks. So I think that it's here to stay. And I think at this point in time, I'm not going to say everyone should just get on board with that. Not everybody has to invest in crypto if you don't want to. I just think that it's a good investment to be a part of something. Find a coin, throw a little bit of money in it every couple of weeks. And I think that it's a good one to go ahead and potentially, cryptocurrency is not going anywhere.
Right.
I hope that made sense.
I have a follow-up question of my own for you that coin will be around. Someone wants me to tell you coin will be around. 4.2 seconds is asking, is it true that 80% of AMC shares are now in control by the retail investors? Does that put in a bigger squeeze? I think the institutional ownership for AMC is like 25 or 20%, which I guess in theory means that the other shares are held by retail investors. I don't know if that means that it will have a higher squeeze. I guess if the retail traders really hold their shares and don't sell, it will create more demand at a higher price, which could drive the price higher. And there was something else I wanted to say about that. Oh, the other thing is a lot of retail traders, they're saying, hold, never sell, AMC to 100,000 or whatever. But at a certain point, for these retail traders, like, I don't know how many of you are wrestling fans and remember Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man from the 80s and 90s, but his whole catchphrase was, everybody's got a price. And it's kind of true. Everyone can sit here and in theory say, I'm not selling AMC till it hits 100,000. But if you bought a 10 and it hits 100 and you have 1,000 shares, that is a considerable profit for a lot of struggling Americans in this country who there's a huge wealth gap. Medical bills are unbelievable. Student loans, interest rates. At a certain point, retail traders are going to start going, you know what? Screw this. I've got a $10,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 in profit. I can pay off my house. Screw this to the moon stuff. I think we're going to see a little bit of that. No, I don't think, J-Ham, I don't think it can actually get to 100,000. Yes, Berkshire Hathaway is it's over $400,000 per share today. The symbol is BRK.A, or depending on your brokerage, it might be BRK-A. That is 400,000 per share. And then I had a follow-up for you about cryptocurrency. I'm seeing a lot of these new Visa cards where you can spend your crypto. It converts your crypto to cash, so you can go to CVS and you can buy Doritos. Aren't I going to be paying short-term capital gains when I sell my crypto to convert it to US dollars? So what's the incentive to spend this crypto as a form of currency, right? If I'm being taxed 10% short-term capital gains or 20% short-term capital gains, to buy a bag of Doritos, why would I do that? Right?
And I completely agree with you. There's a lot of people have been saying that. So I'm definitely an investor when it comes to cryptocurrency. I don't plan on, I don't really see myself having anything that's going to be short term. I think the only one that I'll really have is that Dogecoin purchase that I did not too long ago.
Yeah.
I did sell, obviously. But what do you use to buy crypto? I'll answer that in just a second, California kid. So overall, I think that it really is. You're going to see a lot of problems with that. I think that people are going to see some drawbacks, absolutely, with monetizing their cryptocurrency upfront. But I think that there might be some workarounds with that in the future, whether or not they'll be considered short-term capital gains tax on them, or if you can convert by converting into USD and then using it right from your brokerage account, it might not be considered a full sale, but you'd have to convert your profits into USD in order for that to happen. Like, I know that Coinbase is looking to come out with a card, and then at that point, you'd have to convert whatever you're trying to use into USD, which means you'd be taking profits.
Right, because that's how it would go anyway.
But
I guess. I mean,
it's gonna be tricky for them in the beginning, for sure.
This is going to seem like something that's going to have a lot of trial and error, trying to figure out how are we going to do. Because if it is really supposed to be, in its truest sense, an alternative currency, how do I spend my currency if I'm being taxed on capital gains, right? So I don't think they know yet. I think a lot of people. So I haven't really told too many people this yet, except for you. You know, Crypto.com reached out to me to do some sponsored posts, and they have a Visa card, and they want me to talk about staking, the ease of using their app to buy stuff, and their Visa card. So I said, before I even took their paid sponsorship, I said, let me download this app and try it myself to see if I like it or not, because I'm not going to put my name on something if I don't like it. I think it's junk. I actually kind of like the app. The staking, you're paid like 3%. You can be paid way higher on other apps to stake your crypto. But the ease of buying is incredibly fast. But they have this Visa card. So I wrote them and I basically asked them this question: am I going to be taxed on short-term capital gains if I convert my Bitcoin or Ethereum to US dollars to buy Doritos? And his response was, I don't know. And this is the guy who works for crypto. He said, I'm going to have to check and give you an answer in a couple of days. I think the people in this, nobody knows what's going on.
So and one of the biggest things, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If, like what you were saying, if I convert my crypto to US dollars and then spend it, like, I don't know, this seems like it could get very complicated. Like if I convert $5 and I go to the store and I spend $4, am I taxed on my $1 that I didn't spend? You know what? I can see this just being very, very confusing.
One of the things is, though, with these coins with these cards, I think somebody said, woo, why convert? Because that's let's see, Gene Mitchell, that's what they're considering doing, is being able to utilize your cryptocurrency as a form of currency with these cards. But I think for right now, one of the biggest things is, I think specifically with the crypto card, the crypto.com card, is I don't think that it's a credit card, and I think that you're getting rewards in cryptocurrency for right now. I'm not positive,
that's
but
cool.
I don't believe that they are getting, I don't think that you're using, because I don't think they've worked out those kinks. I think that that's the idea for the future, but because I believe it's a Visa card, I think that you're using a credit line that you were given. I'm not positive on crypto.com, but I know that this is how Coinbase wants to do theirs. You're giving your credit line from a credit bureau, and then from there, as you swipe, you will get rewards allocated into a certain cryptocurrency that you wanted. And this is something very similar to what is being already done with a cryptocurrency called StormX, which I actually did a video on, not sponsored, I'm just obsessed with the idea. StormX, basically, they have an app, and on the app you can go in, and they're affiliated with a lot of different brands, and basically you just shop like normal, do your normal shopping, but because you connected first through the app, whatever purchase you have, they'll give you cash back in StormX that you can then go and stake on their app for more StormX. And I just think that that's an amazing and fundamental idea. One, because the StormX utility is absolutely amazing. Go on, look at their fundamentals. It's incredible. But also, I can't get StormX anywhere else. So I can get StormX by shopping and then just stake it on their app until New York comes around to me getting more access, which answers California kids' question, which is I only have the availability to use Coinbase for my cryptocurrency endeavors right now. My significant other is considered to have an IP address from PA. So I also have things like VeChain through him on his platform. But me, myself, and I in the state of New York, they won't allow me to have anything else. Crypto.com, Voyager, Kraken. As soon as I get through the fundamentals, they flag my IP address, and then they ask me for my identification, which shows that I'm from New York. And they say, sadly, we cannot allow you to trade on our app and stuff right now. So that's what happens.
Giants Bane asked me, can you set limit buy or sell orders on the crypto app? You can, right? You can set limit. You can set like limit orders on crypto.
You're gonna be the guy for that, because on Coinbase you can't.
Oh, on Coinbase.
Coinbase is very vanilla. It's very kind of like buy it or sell it. I think it's meant with the idea of investing, honestly, in mind. So overall, I think that that's just how it is on Coinbase, but I'm hoping that you can do it on other ones.
Okay.
I think I've asked Jay before about Voyager. I don't think that they have it on there yet, but I do know that on other ones they can.
Okay, so
I like that.
Giant Bane, I said yes, but I might have been wrong. It might have been no. Some people are saying you can on certain ones. So Voyager you can. Coinbase Pro you can.
Coinbase Pro you can, yes. I don't use it. It's very unuser friendly in my opinion. Yeah. So I did not like it.
Oh, Anu is in here. Hi, Anu. If you want to ask a follow-up, if you want to go on one of my videos and ask it as a question, then I'll remember to respond to you and I'll look into it and I'll find out. Someone else is saying it's like a debit card that you load and you get rewards in crypto. The Big Legowski is. That was his answer. Okay, so it's almost 10 o'clock, I think.
It is late. Yes, we crushed this one again.
So, you're welcome, babe. Should we? Oh, so everyone's asking. This one guy, Smoking Donuts, is asking over and over. Thoughts on SafeMoon? Options noob.
And I have a couple people, and it's so hard because now we've got like here my two favorite people. So this is probably going to be the last thing that we touch on for this evening, guys, because we really have to get off. I have a huge day tomorrow, and I will already apologize in advance for those of my followers who are on. I normally go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Thursday I will not be available because I will be going to the opening of the flagship Harry Potter store in New York City.
And your birthday's coming up too, right?
Yes, this is my birthday trip. Like this is what I'm doing for my birthday. So that is what I will be doing tomorrow. But yes, so that is, I will not be here for my live tomorrow, but I am typically here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do my lives, and then Ken and I throw it in like, it was almost like every other week we've done, like bi-weekly. So we'll probably and hopefully keep that up. But for SafeMoon itself, SafeMoon is a beloved meme altcoin. And by meme, I just mean it's not one that like blossomed out of a meme. I know that the coin itself has utility. So just be really careful when investing in it. Other than that, I do not have much information. Some of the people that I follow and respect in the crypto community do believe that SafeMoon has some fast moving utility and it is not a pump and dump scheme, but I cannot put my name on that and I cannot give you my 2 cents because unfortunately I am nowhere near having the ability to be able to trade that type of coin. Same thing with Shiba Inu or Shiba Inu or however you say it. I don't have the capabilities to trade those, so I try not to get overly invested in them. But overall, I do know that SafeMoon has had a lot of good people backing the coin. I do know that it is a little difficult to obtain, and that's really all I have on it. I don't have much on SafeMoon.
All right, there you have it.
That is it.
So should we call it a wrap?
I think so. I think that this is a good place to end.
All right. Thank you. I had fun. Happy birthday
Thank you.
I'll do a birthday shout out for you too when it's your birthday, but
yes. But this is my birthday trip, so
Yep.
this is perfect. But thank you,
Sure.
and thank you as always, Ken, for getting on with me. I had a pretty good turnout and stuff on my side for a change.
Good.
I remember our first one, I only had maybe 2 people on my side, so maybe TikTok's finally starting to let me out of TikTok jail.
Everyone is saying thank you. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And Straight asked a lot of good questions. Some people are saying happy birthday, so happy birthday. And all right. See you later.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody. Oh, Jay just joined, and now we're leaving. Someone just joined. Bye, Jay. Bye, Julie.
Bye. We've been out a long time.
Yes,
have
2 hours. Night, guys. Bye. All right, I'm still here, but I'm going to go eat dinner now. Hey, Nara. Oh, man. Everyone joins just when I say I'm leaving. Julie, thank you. I don't know, Nara, if you're still in here. Hey, it's all over. We've been on for 2 hours. Sierra and I were on for almost, maybe even 3 hours. I don't even know what time it is, but I gotta eat. So I'm gonna head out. Yeah, Nara, we were on for 3 hours. We started at 7:30. I don't know what time it is. I don't even know what time it is. You made $39,000 on AMC. That's awesome. Julie, dinner In-N-Out? In-N-Out like the hamburgers? Nara, I'll talk to you later. And good night, everybody. It's 9:53. Oh, my God. Hi, Rachel. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Oh, Options Noob. All is well. How's the baby? I'm going to wait for Options Noob to tell me how his baby is, and then I'm going to bed or dinner or something. Maybe he left. He might have already left. Oh, well. I'm going to go. Oh, well, baby's good. Okay, see you later, everybody.